Welcome to the Ace Podcast, where we talk all things art, culture, and entertainment, but more specifically pop culture entertainment. I am your host, Will, and with me today we have my returning co-host, Aaron. Say hi, Aaron.
Hi, people. What's up? Good to be back. Long time. Hope you're doing well. Wear a sweater if you're cold, or shorts if you're hot. You know, do what makes you comfortable.
It really has been like a hot minute. How have you been doing, man? Because I've been tired and busy and out in these streets.
Out in these streets. You know, it's been a roller coaster. Not gonna lie, this past days, just like this past week. I had someone from my past reached out to me trying to get some closure for some shit that happened 2 years ago. And that's a whole saga of things I gotta tell you about once we're off mic. But you know, other areas of my life are good. You know, I'm working a lot. You know, I'm saving money. Working on some projects. My open mic coming back. Seeing people again. You know, I would say overall I'm doing pretty good. Watching good movies, good shows. Dave, if you haven't seen Dave, you check out Dave. Yes.
I gotta get to it, man. I gotta watch Wu-Tang. I got a movie this week I gotta watch for another podcast I'm gonna be on later this week with my boy Aaron or DJ, aka Rap Critic. But I'm behind on so much shit. You know what the thing I've been watching the most recently before we get into the topics and everything? Yu Yu Hakusho.
Weren't you already on that? Weren't you on the Yu Yu Hakusho?
I've been like on and off it just because I need to like I have to like make time to like watch stuff. Like I almost missed a What If episode because I was like working and I was so caught up with work that in the time I actually had free, I didn't think about it until I was in the middle of eating lunch. I'm like, oh my god, the new What If is up. So like my ability to set aside time for media is just all over the place. Like, what was the last thing I did? I saw Don't Breathe 2 recently. Thought it was,
you know, seen the first one.
I thought it was entertaining for what it was. You know, it has its ups and downs, but the old director came back as a writer and an executive producer. I think it's all right. You know, I enjoy it for what it is. I enjoyed the first one. I like the sequel. I think the misconception is it's like, oh, they're gonna try to turn the rapist into a hero. I'm like, he's not really a hero. He's just the protagonist, which I always kind of separate. Like, you know, he's the main character, but that doesn't exactly make him a hero. But there are like antagonists. Like if there is like a quote unquote good guy, it's the innocent little girl in the movie.
Okay, interesting. Would you say it's worth checking out the first and the sequel? Both the original and the sequel.
The original, yes. The original I think is actually pretty good, albeit I guess what I kind of spoiled as far as the twist goes, but like the twist in it I think is really kind of hits you like a freight train. With it, the twist in the original. I think the sequel is solid. No, I didn't know what to expect when it was announced last year that they were even filming it. I'm like, excuse me, they're doing it. Okay, cool. But it's solid. It's finite. Honestly, it can also sort of stand on its own. Like you don't exactly explicitly need context from the first one to watch the second one. Now that I think about it, like it helps inform you of the character of the blind guy, but other than that, you don't, you know, it's not necessary. I still need to see Free Guy. Candyman comes up. I need to see Free Guy. I need to see Green Knight because those were two that I was actually interested in, especially Green Knight. Candyman comes out this week, I believe, so I think I'm planning on seeing that too.
Yeah, Green Knight was a trip. I saw it. I went to the theater with one of my homeboys, and I wasn't sober when I watched it. So like I saw the beginning.
Oh fuck! You played yourself.
I played myself. I saw the beginning, fell asleep in the middle, and then saw some shit I was not expecting when I woke up. I was like, okay, I need to rewatch this movie because I missed some shit. I saw the. I don't want to get into it. What I saw two people kissing, and I was like, how did we get here? What what is going on? So yeah, it's I'm about to rewatch it tomorrow. Actually, I'm about to watch it with another friend of mine. So I'll get to the bottom of what the fuck was happening.
Right.
But yeah, Free Guy is actually.
It's great.
It was surprising because like when I saw the trailer, I didn't think
it looks very
much
generic.
of it. It looked generic. It looked fun, but I think that was kind of the point of it looking generic. And I think that once you actually get into the movie and watch it and you see what the story is about, it's a lot deeper than you think it would be. Like surprisingly.
That makes me happy. I mean, I think that's a sign of good marketing.
Yeah, like the story is really good. Like how I feel about them making a sequel, I don't know. I feel like the sequel could ruin it. Or not ruin it, but I'm like, unless you come up with an entirely new story, it doesn't, from the events that took place, it doesn't necessarily need a sequel. Like it's one of those things that can stand on its own. I would say the only weak part for me was surprisingly, as much as I love him as an actor, I thought that Taika Waititi was miscast as the tech guy,
the CEO guy.
As the CEO guy, yeah, I feel like he's too nice and too friendly in the face and just in his mannerisms and voice.
That's why the movie is fiction.
Convince me. I know, but like,
no, I get what you're saying. He's not as cutthroat as an actual.
Yeah, you're not gonna cast Michael Cera as Scarface. You know what I mean.
But would you not watch that movie?
I would watch the fuck out of that movie. I would hands down watch that movie.
It's okay. I'm reloaded. All right, Michael Cera. God, what was the last? I think the last thing I saw Michael Cera. The last thing I saw Michael Cera in was in like this weird, trippy, futuristic YouTube anthology series. I can't remember what it's called. It was good, but it was fucking weird. Rosario Dawson was in it. Became like, I don't even know how to explain it. It'd be a whole separate discussion about the 2 episodes.
I think I know what you're talking about. I never.
First one had Dylan O'Brien and the dude from Married with Children, like as a couple, and it was good. It was just fucking absurd.
Yeah, no, a lot of those actors got into like some really, really random stuff after.
Very much so.
They're like the height of their career. Was it Weird City? Is that what it was?
I think it was.
Was it a YouTube original with LeVar Burton?
Yeah. It was Weird City. I saw 2 episodes of it. It was good. It's exactly what the title says. It's fucking weird.
Okay. Well, probably now that YouTube original have become free and because their service fucking crashed and like
because garbage.
This is garbage. We have too many damn streaming services. I know I'm like totally extremely original for saying that. But
who the fuck asked for Paramount Plus? Like, I know why it exists. Extension of CBS All Access, but like no, God no.
No one asked for Paramount Plus. No one asked for Apple TV. No one asked for Peacock. Who the fuck has Peacock?
No one asked for Peacock.
No one asked for Peacock. You know anybody talking about any Peacock shows? I will say Apple TV at least has some shows people are talking about. Like,
right.
You know what? I don't really give a fuck about Apple TV, but you know what? Enough people have got me convinced that I need to check out Ted Lasso. Have I done it yet? No, but I'm curious. I'm interested.
Right.
I'm kind of lacking on that iCarly though. Like I saw the first episode. I hear it's good. I hear the reboot is actually good.
But yeah, I do want to watch it at some point. Like once the season's done, I'll go watch it somewhere. But
yeah, that's how I feel about Ted Corbin, like fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt's new show. I hear that show's good.
He has a new show?
Like, it's not over. Yeah, dude, he wrote and directed a new show. His first thing behind the camera since Don John.
I mean, I think he's a really talented writer and director because Don John is one of my favorite movies of all time. A fun fact. It's a fact that I like forget. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. I fucking love this movie.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm probably due for a rewatch.
The cast of that movie makes absolutely no sense because it's like, oh, he really called in some favors. Because it was his first time directing a fucking independent film. He's like, yeah, let me get Tony Danza, Scarlett Johansson, Julianne Moore, and Brie Larson.
I forgot Brie Larson's in that movie.
It's one of her best roles. She has like 3 lines.
Really? So it must be like a okay.
She's mostly silent in the movie. Let's be real. Her best role was in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, she's great. She's great in Scott Pilgrim. It's on Hulu. Okay, I gotta check it out. I'll watch that tomorrow.
Yeah, Don John's still on Netflix, or it should be on Netflix, and then
it's on Hulu. I just looked. Maybe it's on both.
Is it on Hulu? Okay,
that's what I just said.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into some topics. Speaking of Paramount Plus, Paramount, and Nickelodeon with the iCarly tie-in, we got the cast for the live-action Avatar show. I got some thoughts.
Man,
have you seen this?
I did. Yeah, I thought I thought Aang. Like, okay, it's a little boy. He's 12. Sure, yeah, I'll believe that.
He looks like a child. That's good.
Looks like a child.
They got their pronouns in there.
It's gonna make the guitarist. It's gonna make. Yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
I was just gonna read their names.
It's gonna make the guitar shit really weird later on because she clearly looks a lot older than him. Like, yeah, you can get away with the animation, but like when it comes to live action, like, oh, that's a little odd. I've never seen any of these actors work before, but
these are all new faces.
Yeah, Katara, I'm like, okay, that's serviceable. The dude who's cast as Zuko, I'm like, okay, I could believe him as Zuko.
I could believe him as Zuko.
The fucking guy who was cast as Sokka, I don't know. I've never seen him before, but that shit looks spot on to me. I'm like, that nigga looks like Sokka.
Okay, so we got Gordon Cormier is Aang. All right, I'm gonna try my best to pronounce her name correctly. Tia Wen Tio as Katara, Ian Owsley as Sokka, and Dallas Liu as Zuko. So I think it's nice they finally got some fucking diverse actors for the show. Granted, the showrunners left. That's should be common knowledge by this point. So the new showrunner is Albert Kim. Forget what other projects he worked on. I saw it before. So they finally announced like the core cast. I think the diversity is nice. The ages seem relatively closer. Like you said, the Aang Katara decide to do that romance, that's going to be a bit of a stretch because seeing it in animated form versus in live action is very different. All right, I'll say it. I'll talk about the elephant in the room. I'll sound like the racist. I am surprised at the lightness of the actors they got for the Water Tribe members. Because if I recall, I could be wrong on this. I might have a misfire. Weren't the Water Tribe members based primarily off of like Inuit and indigenous peoples?
Yeah. They were. I didn't think they were on the lighter side. You're right.
Yeah, so they're a lot more brown. So I'm surprised they
fair skin, medium tone.
Yeah, it's a little lighter than expected. This has nothing to do with their talent. I'm sure they're talented actors. They probably cast the best people for the role. It's just like I am curious because I think that still is one of the things that ends up being a complaint with Avatar in terms of people's worries for the adaptation is getting the cultural influences correct and also like pulling from actors of the global diaspora that are of those cultures because they exist. So
would you think it feel better if they got a tan or if they were more tan in the show?
Which I mean, it could be the lighting because they're using headshots in the promotional photos. So it could really be the lighting that like isn't doing them a service. Because like remember that there's a really rough looking photo of Serena Williams where she looks really, really bright, and it's just like poor lighting, poor framing of how like the light caught her makeup. So like, I am not the skin tone police. You know, I can't say who is and isn't or shouldn't be what color, but you know, I'm glad they at least made the effort to get actors of the diaspora, opposed to the
But can you
first go round when it was all white people and a
but can
bunch
you
of
not admit but can you not admit the dude who was cast as Sokka doesn't look like Sokka? Like at least in like tone and like he looks like the goofball kind of.
the one that looks like Zuko looks great.
Yeah, I think he'll be a good
I think
Zuko.
he's spot. I think Zuko's more spot on. One for Sokka, I think he looks a little. He looks a little too mature, actually.
Really? Which photo are you
This is
looking at?
also
This guy?
this is going off of like the promotional. So I'm going off the one on the Netflix's direct Instagram page.
Netflix's Instagram page. I haven't seen it.
Or it just has like headshots of all of them. Okay, so Albert Kim, the showrunner, has worked on Sleepy Hollow and Nikita. He's the executive producer and the writers, and Lindsay Liberatore, and Michael Goy, executive producers, while Goy, Roseanne Liang, and Jabbar Raizani are the directors. In the same press release, Kim explained his vision for the upcoming live-action adaptation. There was a chance to showcase Asian and indigenous characters as living, breathing people, not just in a cartoon, but in a world that truly exists, very similar to the one we live in. I also knew what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to change things for the sake of change. I didn't want to modernize the story or twist it to fit current trends. Aang is not going to be a gritty anti-hero. Katara is not going to get curtain bangs. Don't get me wrong, we'll be expanding and growing the world, and there will be surprises for existing fans and those new to the tale. But throughout the process, our byword has been authenticity to the story, to the characters, to the cultural influences. Okay, so it seems like his heart is in the right place. Honestly, I am really leaving things to wait and be see. Wow, he's a sorry. I'm sounding like a dick. I'm not trying to sound like a dick. Yeah, the guy that plays Saga is a pretty okay. Okay, somebody did a Photoshop of him as Sokka. I can see it way better there.
I'll admit, I just see that goofball that like he has that like that shit-eating kind of grin to him. You know, I don't know. I definitely see the Sokka in this guy.
You know who he reminds me of?
What?
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of fucking the dude that plays Sam. That's what his face kind of reminds me of. I think that's why.
Oh, and Supernatural?
From Supernatural. Jared Padalecki.
I can kind of see it.
He has like one of those stronger faces in that image. Okay. Yeah, and you know, it's just kind of a interesting, you know, phenomenon, but it's like waterbenders weren't especially dark skin. It's just more of an observational thing.
If we're purely going off of looks, the only one that's not really hidden for me is Katara. That's the only one that's not really doing it for me. But you know,
and I'm also looking at other pictures of them because I don't think these. Okay, see, it's definitely the lighting for her. Seeing her in other pictures, I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, that I can definitely see her as Katara. That lighting is not doing her any sort of justice.
Mm.
I think we're kind of on opposite ends on this, where you're not really feeling Katara. I'm not really feeling Sokka. Zuko looks great. Aang looks like a little boy.
Yep.
The actress they got for Katara, yeah, I can definitely see it.
Okay. The more I'm looking at her, I'm like, sure, yeah.
Yeah, the headshots that they use for these promotional photos, I do not think are good enough as far as Luke. Okay, for the waterbenders, I think the neutral lighting isn't good because that's probably just the shots they use of them during their auditions. Aang and Zuko look fine, but their lighting is a lot more neutral. I think that's what it is. So I think for us to kind of see them in these parts, it's a little bit difficult, and the lighting's not doing them justice. But I think the directors and producers, you know, at least going off their statement, they're very, very mindful and very, very careful of these elements. So, you know, I'm gonna roll back my statement a little bit. You know, it was bad lighting. That's my bad. But at the end of the day, I'm
Anyways,
gonna be open minded. I want to give them a chance. I want to learn more. Actors from the diaspora, Asian and indigenous actors and actresses. So, I don't know.
I just seen someone on Instagram.
I
I
am
seen a picture of
remaining.
Osaka on Instagram from the dude's account.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm continuing to remain cautiously optimistic. I'm going to his Instagram now. I'm remaining cautiously optimistic for this show, especially because the creators left, which generally doesn't really put a good taste in people's mouths.
I don't think it didn't like dissuade me too much because like when you look at,
It made me concerned more than anything
I
about
mean,
like why.
I feel like Netflix has built up a trust with their audience to know that they're
I
getting
don't
great
believe that
quality
actually. I'd
series.
say the
Actually,
opposite.
no, they haven't built that. Not all their series. Not all their series are great.
Bro, the
But
Death Note movie.
okay, we're talking about shows. We're talking about shows. We're not talking about movies. Like the streaming service, the binging, the binging mode. We ain't talking about the film.
All right. Okay, I'll give you shows because a lot of their movies are total ass cheeks.
Yeah, they ain't the movie studio. They're in the TV game. They're in the binging game.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'll give you TV shows.
But
Well,
yeah, but
their
like,
TV shows are hit or miss too. Have you seen Sex Life?
nope,
Fucking
and I don't need to.
a wild ass ride.
Jupiter's Legacy was okay. So, but like you got things like Stranger Things,
I
Mindhunters,
mean, you're the one that
fucking.
watched Jupiter's Legacy, so Godspeed.
I'm the one man on earth that watched Jupiter's Legacy and Agents of
You
Shield
are to completion.
to completion, to climax. But
Oh
hey,
man.
man, I liked it. I liked Agents of Shield. Fight me. I stuck through to the end. I can't say the same for
Oh
Flash though. I gave up on
God.
Flash. Maybe I'll
Or
come back one day.
Even Flash fans gave up on Flash.
I fell off of season 6. Like after Crisis, I pretty much fell off of all the shows.
So did I. Um. Yeah. Do we have any other thoughts about this cast? Or we jump on to some of the other random news that we got going on here.
I can't wait to see who they cast as Iroh and Azula. And I think
Ooh, those are good. Yeah. Well, I guess, if we're starting with the first season, we won't see Azula for a while, so it's probably gonna be more like Iroh and Ozai, really.
yeah, Iroh and Ozai. Those are the two I need to see.
Man,
But
if they didn't have him for Shang-Chi, I'd say that the dude playing the
Tony
Mandarin
Lau.
would have been Tony Lau would have been an amazing, bruh. Can you see him as Ozai?
Man. I mean,
He'd kill it.
I feel like he looks a little short though. I feel like Ozai needs to be like a staturing figure.
I mean,
Then
he's tall
again,
to a 12-year-old.
that's very true. That's mad facts right there.
As
Super
long as you're
facts.
tall to a child.
Right, right. Like yeah, he kind of can't. He kind of can't be playing the fucked up dad to like the hero protagonist thing like twice in a row. Like I don't think that's gonna fly.
Right. No, I think
That's
he could do
getting
it.
that's getting a little
I mean,
typecasty.
same. I mean, it happens to Giancarlo Esposito all the time, and we still watch him. He plays the same character in half of his roles.
Which one, Gus? Gus Fring?
Gus Fring, Lex
I
Luthor
feel
on
like
Harley
Moss Gideon
Quinn.
were different. I feel like
Is
most.
he? He's a bad motherfucker that runs shit in every show, even on Dear White People. And he's just an old black man in a fraternity. He's still a bad motherfucker that runs shit. He plays the same
Okay.
character, and we don't care. He's like Keith David.
Okay. Yeah, Keith David.
When
Because
you do
consistency.
right, when you do something great one time, why do anything else?
Dang. Unless you're an artist who wants to, explore other aspects of your skill set. But like, hey, man,
I
if
mean
it
that.
ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean that's not to say they don't have range. It's just when the roles they get cast for don't like maximize on it. It's not saying they don't have range. I know they both have range. They're very,
Of
very
course.
talented actors. It's just a lot of the roles they get cast in. Like, have you seen Keith David in Greenleaf? We're gonna go on to the next topic in a second, but it's just
Nope.
have you seen Keith David on Greenleaf?
Nope.
He plays a southern pastor, and it is so good. Oh my god. I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes into the show, but it's perfect casting. He has the
I'm gonna take a
voice, he has
wild
the
guess
mannerisms.
and say it's a very different character than what he played on the Cape.
Probably.
Did you ever watch The Cape?
I did not.
Oh man, that's one of the best short-lived, canceled instantly TV shows about a superhero who just has like a cape. Vince Veraday, who fucking died. Yeah, you gotta
Mhm.
look it up, man. It was one of
Alright.
the comic book shows before the comic book show trend really took off.
I believe you.
It's a
Um,
pioneer.
speaking of pioneers, have you seen the trailer for the new He-Man and the Master of the Universe show that we're getting, starring Yuri Lowenthal as Prince Adam?
I did watch it.
Because I think
Um,
you posted about it, and I thought you were making a joke. Like I thought you were shooting the shit until it popped up in my feed. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, I
I'm
thought he
just
was
like
bullshitting.
I'm just like, why? We literally just got a He-Man show. Like
No,
it
no,
just
no.
came
It's a
out.
Masters of the Universe show
Okay. All right, right,
featuring
right.
He-Man.
They had to have you watched it?
I have.
Okay, that okay, that's the differentiating factor right there. Was minor
If you
spoilers for
want, if
people
you
who
want to
haven't
get
seen Master of the
technical, it
Universe.
is because
He's
it's a
barely in the
Tila show.
motherfucker. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
Tila show. He-Man's barely
he's
in the shit, which I don't mind. I'm not a huge He-Man stan or anything, so I don't have
I mean
no
he's in
emotional
it. He's in
investment.
it a decent amount. It's just that they're flashbacks.
Right, he's not in any of the present day stuff, and like
Yeah,
the
he's in the first episode, and
in the
then
one in the one moment they're about to give you like your fucking your edge of
Catharsis.
He-Man for those He-Man fans. Like they fucking cuck you and they take it away from you.
But I kind of like the way that they did it too, because it's also a mid-season
I
finale.
wasn't
If you want to get
mad.
technical,
Oh,
I
is it
wasn't mad either.
mid-season
I
finale?
actually really liked how they did it. I'm like, oh, good, something logical.
Right. Like, oh, good.
It's
Yeah,
like
that would make sense.
if you're Skeletor, you start to notice a fucking pattern at some point.
Right. That
It's like,
motherfucker takes way too long to turn into
yeah,
He-Man.
like it's like standing there while Sailor Moon or the Power Rangers transform, and you're literally waiting out your ass beating. Why not stop them mid transformation and fuck up the day?
Shoot them. Stab them.
Yeah,
Stab
but
them. Stab them with a gun. Shoot them with a
stab them
gun
with a
that
bullet.
stab them with a bullet. Shoot them with a gun that shoots swords.
What do we think about I mean, the new. I mean, it looks fine. It looks,
I'm not
for
gonna
for
watch it.
younger kids, it looks fine. I'm interested to see what toys come of it. I actually kind of like the designs.
They kind
Oddly
of do
enough.
that thing like they did with like Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. They're trying to like do the
Wait, bro,
classic
you remember
thing.
that?
Of
Someone else
course, my
remembers
guy.
that.
Of course.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh
Throwback
man,
for
someone
you.
else remembers that. That was a good show.
They're trying to do some classic shit and bring it to the modern day, but even
Mhm.
more modernized, like future. Like, what if He-Man was in a futuristic setting? And I'm like, all right, sure. Let's. Hey, I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not like I said. I'm not a huge He-Man fan, He-Man stan, but
Right.
I'll, will I check it out? Probably not, unless somebody says it's like it's really worth it. I probably won't check it out. But hey, to each his own. Not everything's for
Yeah.
me.
I might give it a look. I actually like the character designs. I really like the character designs on Revelation, which I was surprised about. And I really like the
I did
action in that show,
too.
but I think it's Powerhouse, so no wonder the animation is already going to be good. But
Yeah,
yeah, on this one, I'm just
animation
like
was fire.
I think the premise that they're going for is interesting. That now that other people can also use the powers of the Masters of the Universe, so it's kind of like a He-Man team up show, where he has like a little team with him of other characters, or it's like a which I'm like both shows are doing interesting twist on the mythology, which I think is actually smart because one, it helps with marketing the damn toy because that's all these are is. But they're also putting a little bit more effort and thought to be like, well, what if we tried this? Like, I mean, they like I didn't really care for She-Ra just because of like character design. So
Mhm.
that didn't really pull me in, even though I heard the show and its storytelling were good. I'm just like, maybe someday, but no time soon. I'm just
If I
like,
had if I had a word to describe that trailer, I just thought it was very loud. It was a very loud trailer.
as it should be. It's very clearly for a younger demo, and like not like Revelations is for people that much older. It's just like this one is clearly specifically for like the Power Rangers demographic.
Right.
Like the same ones that Nick tries to get with Power Rangers, that's what this one is for. So I'm like, I could tolerate that. Like I was hanging out with somebody who likes cartoons, so that's when I saw Revelations. Which I'm just like, it's like this Revelations is more for like a slightly older audience. It's rated PG, I think. So it's like a slightly older audience, like adolescents and teenagers. But it's not like edgelord, but it's still PG, so families can watch it. Like,
All right.
there's
All right.
there's not a lot of blood and shit.
Will you check it out and let me know how it is? And then
I
maybe
will.
I'll check it out.
I'll watch like 2 episodes and be like, it's fine. Whatever you think it is, it is. I mean, whatever we think it is, it probably is.
Okay. But if you come back hyped, then I'll probably check it.
Yo, wouldn't that be crazy if it was like just turned out to be this great show? It's like, hey, bro, you ain't gonna believe this shit. He-Man and the Master of the Universe is fire, bro.
This shit better than Lovecraft Country.
I mean, when I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna. Well, okay, I just want to have a slight detour before we go over to the Warner Brothers stuff. Did you see that Misha Green tweeted like a couple months back what her initial plans were for season 2 about how the country was like divided into segregated parts?
No, was it official that season 2 is not going to happen? Like, did they completely can it?
Yeah, the show's canned. But so she posted a tweet of like the segregated map of the United States following the events of season 1. And may I just say, as as someone that's rooting for everybody black and wants black people to get where, oh shit, I just remembered something else we have to talk about too. It has to
talk about. Yep.
Yeah, it has to do specifically with Misha Green. But I didn't want to see that shit. I'm tired of black sad narratives. I like my headcanon. All the black people are wizards now. Congrats. I like that ending for the show. I don't want to see any more bullshit of us having to fight monsters and racism through time. With the interdimensional powers of Beyond Say.
Beyond Say, that shit killed me.
God, that shit was so silly.
I'd still watch a season 2. I'm just like, I'm mad they killed
I would have powered through it. I would have powered through it to see if it like got better. Because like the acting in that show was great, costume design was superb, effects awesome. Like that show has a lot of great things in it. I just think when it came together, like individually, the episodes I think are pretty good. Like the Flopsy and Mopsy one still kind of sticks with me. But again, like production wise, everything around that show is great. I just think in terms of how the narrative structure is, it's its biggest weakness, which is an issue. Because like that's why I watch the show.
I still think the one episode that took place in overseas, like with the succubus, that's probably
the Korean one was dope too.
Yeah. I think I get what you mean. Like the entire package didn't like fit together nicely, but the individual pieces were
yeah, it's weird. Like every episode taken on its own merit is pretty good, I'd say. It's just if you try to put it together in a narrative, for some reason outside of the first 2 episodes, it kind of doesn't work, which is it's an odd accomplishment. I'm like, I don't know how you did that. You had like eight different narratives that didn't connect.
I like the idea of them switching the focus and perspective on each character, though. I thought that was pretty cool and pretty unique for that show to do.
Yeah. It was an ambitious show. I'll say that.
Definitely.
Yeah. But let's get into the Warner Brothers news. I do want to talk about Space Jam 2, but you just reminded me as we were talking about it. So we got confirmation, I think yesterday, as of us recording this, that we are in fact getting a Black Canary movie from HBO Max with Jurnee Smollet-Bell returning from Birds of Prey, and Misha Green is set to direct. I forget who is set to write it, but I mean, what do we think?
Misha Green's writing it too. I wouldn't be surprised if she was writing and directing.
She probably is. Let's see. She probably is. I'm pulling up the Deadline article now. Let's say how do we feel? I'll be honest.
I'm cool with it.
I mean, again, like I said, rooting for everybody black, rooting for all of the black women. I just okay.
Speak your truth. Speak your truth.
Sorry, I'm looking at it. Yeah, Misha Green is writing. Sue Kroll is producing. Yeah, so I guess they're both collabing on this product. Black Canary didn't really leave much of an impression from Birds of Prey. Honestly, Huntress did more, just because she had the more interesting story. I think I guess it's two ways. She was kind of underutilized in the movie because she only did the canary cry once.
I think so. Yeah,
she didn't really fully become the Black Canary. That's another thing I really don't like about the movie is that it's a goddamn prequel. To the actual Birds of Prey who don't show up until in cool costumes until the last 5 minutes. I don't even care about her showing navel or skin or whatever the fuck like the comics. I don't care about that part of accuracy. I'm all about hair accuracy, but nonetheless, it's it's two fronts. It's should they expand on her character? I guess because she didn't really leave much of an impression. And they didn't, and they kind of underutilized her. But because they underutilized her, I don't have a lot of interest in going to see the movie, other than the fact that Misha Green and Jurnee Smollet-Bell are both talented people in the industry, and I want to support them. It's just kind of I don't know. HBO Max is greenlighting a lot of very random things, and I'm not mad, but it's very head tilting. What do you kind of think about this? This is it was completely out of nowhere, and I follow Jurnee Smollett, so I just saw a post. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? What happened?
I think if it wasn't for the fact that I had seen Lovecraft Country, I probably wouldn't care either. She didn't really leave much of an impression on me. But I think the combination of Misha Green working with Jurnee Smollett is what gets me excited. I think the fact that we are taking this smaller character who didn't really get much of a spotlight in the ensemble piece and giving her a solo focus is really what gets me intrigued by the project. And I really liked how Misha Green handled the characters. I really what's her name? What was her character? Lovecraft.
Oh, Letty.
Letty. I really liked.
Was it Letty? Yeah, Letty.
Yeah, it was Letty. You're right. You're right. I really liked Letty's performance. I really liked the relationship that she had with the characters, and I think it didn't. It blows my mind that that's the same actress because her is Letty and her is Black Canary. For some reason, to me, don't look like the same person. I don't know what it is, but
it's probably the haircut.
Yeah, probably. It's most likely. But I think
one had a bob and the other one had long dyed tip curls.
Right. So I think those two working together is really what intrigues me. Now, with those two working together, I'm curious to see what angle they take with it. Do they focus more on the heroic stuff? Do they focus on, was her name Dinah Lance in the movie?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it was.
Are they focusing on Dinah Lance the character, or are they turning the Black Canary in this universe and making that a symbol of blackness for DC and for women? I'm not sure what angle they're trying to approach it with.
Right.
I just
they want their black female superhero, which I don't think we have a major. We don't have a solo one. I don't believe. Yeah, she's Dinah Lance.
No, I think it's all about execution, honestly. And I am intrigued either way they decide to go. I like that HBO Max is where DC is putting their more experimental projects. Like
I agree. I agree.
Batwoman or Batgirl.
That is a good idea.
I like that they're doing that. It's like the launching ground for these other areas. The ones that I don't know. I have mixed feelings because they're giving us these newer characters or these less popular characters in a medium where they feel it's safe for them. It's less of a risk for them to test their merits on a big screen. I feel like with a big screen, it's a very much a here, this is our major tentpole project that we're pushing and advertising. and we're betting all our money that this is going to be the project that like hits big, you know. But with HBO Max, you can easily like have it come out and kind of be like a take it or leave it kind of thing, you know. Like,
and I will. Yeah, go ahead.
did you see any advertising for Raised by Wolves or like any other
on Max
independent Exactly, but like anywhere else, no. There's no hype for it. But like they're putting it out for the sake of, yeah, we want to like, it's like you know what it reminds me of when Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, said the thing about the experiment. Like they're trying this experiment, and then like the dude who plays Shang-Chi got like offended because they're like, we're not an experiment. We're the Deadpool. We're gonna make.
Oh yeah. His words got like completely fucked out of context. I do, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like them putting the black character, the Hispanic character, like the female Bat character on HBO Max is like their experiment to like see if it'll work for an audience, but not put enough investment into it to really test its marketability by throwing it into a theater.
Right.
That's what it seems like to me.
No, but I agree with you, actually. I do think putting your more risky experimental projects, like you said, on Max is a good idea. You know, turning Max into kind of a Netflix. Because I mean, HBO has made good quality movies before, and I mean, Superman and Lois is a knock out of the park. I hear positive things about Stargirl when I eventually get to it. And actually, even looking back to her suit at the end of Birds of Prey, I like the design. And yes, thank fucking God they got her goddamn hair right. She's fucking blonde. Congrats. You did the bare minimum that I always ask of people. I don't know why that's so fucking hard for people to do. And I'm like, wow, yeah, wow, it's hot. It still includes aesthetics of the original. I don't know why we couldn't have this for the rest of the fucking movie, but you know, whatever. Same thing for Huntress. And I guess that's the next one is like, are we gonna see cameos from Huntress and Harley and Cassie Kane, who shouldn't be Cassie Kane, but is Cassie Kane now. Should have been Stephanie Brown, but whatever. Yeah, so I don't know. It leaves with a lot of questions, but I think with what you're saying, because when you bring it up, yeah, they have worked together before, which is probably how this collab happened. Following the success of, I guess, somewhat critical success of Lovecraft Country, being like, hey, we may not give you a second season, but we'll give you a stab at this project where we want to. I guess they're trying to see if anything from Birds of Prey has any legs before they decide to kind of go forward with another project, which it should be Gotham City Sirens, by the way. You should do that. Give us Catwoman and Poison Ivy with Harley, you fucking cowards. But you know,
they're gonna cast Harley. They're gonna cast Poison Ivy eventually. I'm really curious to see what it is though. Like, who do you cast as a Poison Ivy to play against Margot Robbie? It's so fascinating to me.
Not Christina Hendricks. Who's the other one? Other redheaded chick. Ooh, you know it'd be really crazy. Fucking Bryce Dallas Howard is Poison Ivy. That'd be nutters. But I think she's a little too old. Oh, is she?
No, he's in.
I mean, look, I wouldn't complain.
Modern.
A younger
Megan
actress.
Fox is Poison Ivy.
I can see it, but I don't want it.
Yeah, same. It's too easy. It seems too obvious.
It's too easy. Plus, they'd probably pick her as Selena.
Yeah,
it's because the black hair is already there. Who'd be who's a talented younger actress? Because here's the thing that I'm thinking that they would probably do: either Catwoman or Poison Ivy is going to be black. Call it. One's going to be black.
One's already black. One's already black.
Yeah, but I mean, in the universe where Harley's at, one's going to be black. One's going to be Latina.
I think it would have to be.
So Selena would probably be Latina.
So Latina Selena, hey.
Latina Selena. That means it'd probably be a black Poison Ivy. She'd probably be light skinned. I don't know, fucking Yara Shahidi. It'd be Zendaya as Poison Ivy.
Oh god,
because those are the only two actresses in Black Hollywood, evidently. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, I want a Gotham City Sirens movie, but if we get a Black Canary movie and it does well enough to give me fucking Gotham City Sirens with Margot Robbie, Latina Selena, and light skinned Ivy, I'm down for it. Why not? Fuck it. There's no rules. Like I wouldn't mind a follow up to Birds of Prey. Just make it be about the fucking Birds of Prey, not a damn prequel. Like that movie has good action, and it's I guess a creative plot, but its title sucks. And I think it could have done more to service the characters but again, I'm a man with my man comic book male brain, so maybe I hear a lot of women had fun with the movie. So if they did,
Yeah,
more
well,
power to
stop
them.
mansplaining why Birds of Prey is bad.
Me man, Squinty. I don't think it's bad. I just don't know if it was for me. I need to go back and
That was
finish
okay.
rewatching
I
it
thought it.
one day. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's one of the better DC movies,
It's
but that's not
stellar.
saying much.
Here's the thing. I've only seen it once, and I had fun with
Right,
it.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
maybe I'll watch
I
it
like the
again.
fight choreography.
Yeah, I thought the choreography was cool. I'd be curious to watch the Birds of Prey fight and the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn fight back to back to see which one's better.
Which I
Because
guess
I
we
really
can,
enjoyed them both.
I think that can just take us right into the next one. Let's talk about the Suicide Squad, like full spoilers. Like I
Yes.
briefly did it after it came out. I think it's great.
I
Probably,
had a lot of fun with it. Probably
I
what?
think I think it's legitimately just like a great comic book movie. And I say comic book specifically because it's not a superhero movie. There are no superheroes in here except for Polka Dot Man.
Oh,
Um, it's
that's
like
right. Right from Pokemon, man.
yeah, like that's actually a pet peeve of mine when people call comic book movies superhero movies. I'm like, The Losers is a comic book movie without superheroes. So is
Yep.
Deadpool. He's not a
Yep.
superhero. He murders
Nope.
people.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know.
no, man. I had a lot of fun with Suicide Squad. It was very
Mm,
much. Here's the thing. I think they very much did what was necessary for this movie to work, which was
right.
not waste time explaining who everyone was and their backgrounds and their relationships with one another. Not really. It didn't spend time trying to get us on board with the concept of what the Suicide Squad was. Like it very much threw us in. Didn't need to establish why it was a thing. Didn't need to spend time forming the first team. They're like, all right, here's what we are, here's what we do, and go. It was all about the mission and these characters' dynamics within the mission from start to finish. And I feel like that's the thing that really makes it go.
Mhm.
Not only that, but being infused with James Gunn sensibilities as both a person who loves character and who has a weird fucked up sense of humor, both with his dialogue and with his action, and just
Mhm.
the way he sets things up on screen. I think all of those things really played together to make a really entertaining, really really off the walls, kind of weird, bonkers comic book movie.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
no,
yeah, enjoy it.
I entirely agree. Actually, of James Gunn's comic book movies, this might be the strongest one to me. Like, I feel like he learned a
Really?
lot from not just from his past projects, but also like working on Guardians, because I think he had a little bit more freedom here. I think he
Definitely.
leaned into it really hard. Someone pointed out something too that I didn't notice. James Gunn has a big thing with fathers in his movies. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because it happens in both Guardians and in this.
Well, I know. I
And
think Guardians One was more about Peter dealing with. It was more about family, and then Peter's kind of internal confrontation with his relationship with his mother, and then Guardians Two out the daddy issues. That's like
yeah,
it
but
should be
like,
called Guardians Two Daddy issues.
yeah, but I think, but I guess I mean, even in Guardians One, you still have like Gamora, Nebula, and their relationship with Thanos, which gets expanded upon
But
into.
yeah, like they touch on it, but like yeah, they really really make it a side story in the
Yeah,
second one, but it's like it's minorly
yeah.
touched on. It's just it's addressed in the
Right.
first one, but it's really
Yeah,
like
but it's a lot of
hammered
stuff
home
with
in the
parents in
sequel.
his movies, basically. I guess not just dads,
Definitely.
but both, because this one has moms and dads.
To
Guardians
be
of One
fair,
have.
I've only seen Super the Guardians movies and this. I've never seen Slither.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen Slither, but I haven't seen
I've seen
Super.
I have seen Scooby Doo.
Yeah, of course. Oh fuck! I almost forgot about Scooby Doo. God damn, both of them. That was him.
Also interesting. Did you know he made the
Slither had
game
families.
Pop Chainsaw? Did you know he wrote that game?
Yes, he did. I played that game. It's great.
I
It's
did
a
not know
very
that
fun
was
game.
him.
Music was done by Jimmy Urine from Mindless Self-Indulgence. He was also the
Huh.
first boss. He was also the voice of the first boss, and he did some of the music production for that game.
James
Imagine
Gunn's the
James
voice of the
Gunn
first
in a
boss.
band.
Oh, trip.
Yeah, that's what MSI is like.
And then they need the crossover of Lollipop Chainsaw and Sunset Overdrive.
What the fuck? I missed that. I saw the Evil Dead one.
No,
No,
so
Lollipop
they need to
Chainsaw.
make it. They need to make it.
Yes, they do. I would love a Lollipop Chainsaw too, or at least a remaster. But I was talking about Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
That it has such a fucking strong opening. Oh my god. Quick question. So is Savant actually autistic?
What?
I'm not asking this to be like rude or anything, but like with the name and then the behavior when he like ran away, I'm like, was that the joke?
Is he autistic? I didn't catch that at all.
Well, the
Is
only
he
reason I
supposed to
asked
be?
is because the name usually when you hear savant, it's in relation to somebody with like a spectrum disorder.
Really?
To my knowledge,
I have no
maybe I
clue.
hang in different circles.
I think so.
Maybe because I work in mental health. Yeah.
But hey, I believe you. Like,
Okay.
you got the
So
ethos
there's
to
something called
back it up.
savant syndrome, which is a condition where prodigious talent can co-occur with developmental conditions. So that's what I'm thinking of, which is the only context in which I've heard the term. That's what it is. The actual term savant means a learned person, especially a distinguished scientist. So like an intellectual, a scholar, a sage. So I was thinking of the syndrome. So that's okay. That's a hell of a discovery to make. The only context I've heard it in was in relation to the disability. So I'm like, was he supposed to be like coded as autistic? So he's like really good at this one thing, but then shit breaks down and he just immediately like has a lapse.
Yeah, I don't know.
I I I don't think that's what he intended. I think it was just supposed to be like, oh, he's scared.
Yeah, that's what I took away. I think he had such little lines in the movie that is really hard to tell if that was James Gunn's intention.
Right.
But yeah, no, watching him die and all those other characters was very it reminded me of Deadpool, where all those where the X Force died, the original X Force, but executed in a different way. Yeah,
it was executed honestly almost a little better, just because I mean, how quickly everybody dies is this movie got a laugh out of me in the first, I think, 6 minutes. I felt bad when the birdie died, but you know, the fact that the movie made me laugh in under 10 minutes, I'm like, this is going to be a good time. The color grading is different. The cinematography, oh my god, like the opening shot of Savant where it like circled from the puddle. I realized, don't let me be a director, because half of my fucking movies are just going to be those like rotating shots, like the one that Killmonger had in Black Panther, the one from the puddle. This one has a lot of really good shots. When Peacemaker and Rick Flag are fighting, and it shows in the reflection of the helmet. Oh, that one drove me nuts. Actually, I've never seen like a fight film from that perspective.
No, never. Neither have I. I thought it was very well done. It was very. James Gunn had no restrictions doing this movie, and I think it really shows. You know what? I've seen it twice now, and what shot really captured my attention on the second one was the shot where they were on a mission to save Rick Flag, and then John Cena was on top of the van, and he was shooting the dart. It looked like a video game. It was nuts. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like he was on top of the bus, and it was like a tracking shot of him like slowly like shooting the dart.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like a crazy shot or anything, but like this is the way that it was, and you see in the distance the people that he's shooting with the darts as they're going down. I was like, this is like the most like Last of Us 2 shit I've ever seen. This is crazy.
Right. Even the transitions between scenes, because it like each segment had like a different title to it. I loved that. Just so like stylistic, it easily just went. That was the end of that segment. Now we're on to the next one. Like you know how Zack Snyder did his for Justice League. It's like chapter 1, chapter 2. I'm like, no, this was fucking seamless. It's like we're introducing the next chapter. Here's the title for the next chapter. Next chapter begins now.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't a hard cut. It was smooth, and that's what I really liked about it. Even from the way the title card was done, where it was like it overlapped with the background, but also had the characters in the foreground of the lettering. Like from an editing perspective, I thought that was great. I really fuck with like the costume designs. Some are really accurate. I just, oh my god, the things. Oh my god, James Gunn gave us the best Harley costume in the entire DCEU outside of her original one, and I only got it for 10 minutes, and I'm still mad about it. Because I'm like, they keep fucking cucking me because they got the fucking colors right after 5 years. Get the colors right again. Because her costume in Suicide Squad 1, garbage. Birds of Prey, not a fan, even if it makes sense. This one, I'm like, oh, they got it perfectly. And it's like, it's sexy, but it's like functional. But the colors are right. They don't give her that stupid ass pink and blue hair, and it's gone. Now she's in a hole and she's in a red dress for the rest of the movie. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, fine. All right, James, you got me for a good 10, 15 minutes. Let's talk about the cast too. Everybody's good.
Everyone's
very good.
Yeah, and I think
I have no
they each have their own. They each have their own distinct style. Like what specifically is coming to mind right now is fucking the heart of the movie, Ratcatcher 2, with her little like shriveled up walk, and like she always has like her hands kind of like close inside, like she's like shell, like she's like scared or something. And like even though she herself is not a rat, she has that like kind of like she has like a human embodiment of like a rat to her. And I thought that was very.
She's got big rat energy.
She got big rat energy, baby. No, totally. I love Polka Dot Man. I think the fact that they took this character who seems like a laughable joke and made him this like this kind of what's the like this monster kind of tragic story where he has like these mommy issues was fascinating. I was like, oh, I need more Polka Dot Man. Please give me more Polka Dot Man. I'm sad that he died. But like,
I am too. Polka Dot Man was good. The fact that James Gunn made me give a shit about Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, no, like his weird body dysmorphia, and he's just an odd dude. Like I'm sure he's like done a lot of. I'm sure he deserved to be there. Like he did something fucked up that we don't know about.
Which yeah, I'm just that especially because they have to like take the power dampening collar off of him. I'm like, what the fuck did Polka Dot Man do? I mean, I know his powers are like insane, but I'm like, what did he do to get in Blackgate?
I wonder if he actually killed his mom.
What did Ratcatcher do? What did she do? Oh, didn't she say
they said
something?
She like robbed a bank. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, really? That's what gets you sent to like max level prison? You robbed a bank with some rats?
Yeah, and that's what got her there. So like, you don't need to be like the baddest of the bad. Like Amanda Waller straight up was going to threaten to put his daughter in there. Well,
right.
So also, I'm seeing a lot of complaints.
Bloodsport.
I think, yeah. But speaking of that, are there certain surface level similarities between Deadshot and Bloodsport?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think they're different.
On a character level, they're different.
Yeah, but like I think the dynamic with the daughter is different than Will Smith's with Bloodshot. I think
because his daughter, Deadshot's daughter, likes him.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a very loving relationship. I think I don't know, did Deadshot have an apprehension, if you remember, to being a leader? I know he had a contentious relationship with Rick Flag, but it was exactly.
I think that was about it. Yeah, I think it's kind of I think in terms of actual characterization, he's like a parallel to Deadshot, but also he has similarities with like Peacemaker. But I think it's because like I think James Gunn acknowledges that the way that they wrote Bloodsport is like a parallel to Deadshot a lot of ways. but they joke on it by also including Peacemaker, who's just like Bloodsport. And they literally point it out, like right at the beginning.
Their origins in the comics are different, but I thought that was a
I'm
funny
sure they
gag.
are. But,
Yeah, but
I'm sure the Bloodsport fans are going crazy. Like, yeah, there goes our boy.
no, Bloodsport shit in the comics is that he's actually a deserter of the military, and his brother took his spot. And because his brother took his spot in the military, at least in the original version, he lost his arm, and then from there he decided to become Bloodsport and like take vengeance and whatnot. And then in the new iteration, the same thing happened. He was a deserter, and then his brother went into the military and died, and then that's how he became Bloodsport, becoming like a weapons expert and stuff. And like the whole thing with like him shooting Superman with a kryptonite bullet. That actually is part of like the original comic thing, which is why they included it.
Wow, that's kind of dope.
Yeah, but Lex Luthor was like manipulating him. So like, yeah, he's originally like a black dude, like a red bandana on his head, as opposed to like the xenomorph looking thing. Now he looks more like the xenomorph thing in the
I kind of like the xenomorph one a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie.
No, me too. Even though I was like, I thought it was bullshit that it cracked just from hitting a wall. I'm like, is that easy?
But also, it cracked right before the Starro shit happened. I'm like, you didn't have to do that if he was gonna live anyways. I'm like, what was the point of smashing it if he was gonna need it like for plot I'm like, it was a strange decision because it didn't change anything plot wise. I guess it was to create the potential for stress. Oh, that's something else that I want to say. Maybe it was just me. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, I know who's gonna live and who's gonna die." Honestly, once they killed Boomer, I didn't know. I was like, "This is anybody's game at this point," and especially when Rick Flag died. I'm like, Harley might go, and that makes me scared. James.
No, I never thought I never thought they were gonna kill Harley. I never had a
no. I when Rick went, when Boomer went, I'm like, or Digger. I had some suspicions that like I felt like anyone was up for grabs. Especially because Digger was a character that people actually, one of the few that people liked who came back, and then Rick was instantly more likable in this movie, and he was back. So I felt like anyone could have died at any point. After Digger died, I'm just like, oh shit, this could really be anyone's game. I don't know when. I'm astonished at how long everyone kind of survived. Like, I didn't want Ratcatcher to die. I didn't want Bloodsport to die. Especially didn't want Harley to die. Kind of didn't want Polka Dot Man to die. I was surprised at how long King Shark stayed till the end. I'm like, oh, he didn't
even die.
He didn't. I expected him to die at least like 3 times, and he didn't.
I loved King Shark. I loved King Shark. I love Polka Dot Man. I think those two are probably my favorite characters.
Mine was probably Ratcatcher and Bloodsport. Man, the fight with
mustache.
Nom
nom. What were you gonna say?
Can we also talk about how good Viola Davis was in it? Like, she was good in the original, but like they used her correct, like, better.
Right.
Because like she's one of the
cold-hearted.
She's one of the few from the original one. I'm like, no, she was fine. In fact, she was, dare I say, great. But in this one, I'm just like, that's fucking Amanda Waller. There it is. All it took was a good writer to bring it out. Because I'm like, Viola Davis is a perfect casting choice for it.
Oh, hands down. The only thing I didn't buy is that she didn't reprimand the other people for
her employees for the insubordination.
Yeah. I'm like, this woman killed all the other people in the first one for like being a liability for just witnessing shit. You remember?
She literally threatened to put a child into like a maximum security adult prison.
Right, but you're not going to stop. You're not going to do anything for your group of people disobeying your orders. Like, that's you literally kill the Suicide Squad for less.
True. I think the only reason she didn't is because she respected Bloodsport's decision, like the balls he had to hold that wager at the end in the first place, enough to maintain it. And so she's like, fuck it, whatever. Less paperwork for me. Just don't. Oh wait, I guess she kind of did because she saddled the two of them with dealing with Peacemaker, which leads into his
Yeah, I
series.
suppose. Well,
I guess
speaking of
that's
which,
their quote unquote punishment for literally like hitting her with a gun hand. Was it a gun or a bat or a
it was a
broom or
golf
something?
club. It was a golf club.
Yeah, golf club. I'm just
Speaking of
like,
which, do you feel that the movie did its job in getting you excited for the Peacemaker series?
uh, kind of. Um,
I
I'm
don't think
definitely
it
gonna
really got me
watch it.
excited. I'm
I
gonna
don't think it
watch
got
it.
me excited because I don't really like Peacemaker now. That was the
Yeah,
thing. I liked him until he killed Rick Flag.
right. The movie literally took Rick Flag from scratch. Like he's basically a new guy and make you
Right.
like him, and then Peacemaker killed him. But I liked that. Like I don't like that he died, but I liked that there is conflict
The
amongst the team and backstabbing because that's what happens in Suicide Squad.
yes.
I'm
It's like
like, it's the
it guess
closest thing to like Assault on Arkham that it felt like.
I agree.
Like, yeah,
I think the thing for me is what will Peacemaker's character arc be? Because in this one, it's essentially, he doesn't really have a arc per se, but like what he kind of grapples with, and you even see it with the fight with Rick Flag, is his whole thing is like his unwavering dedication to peace, as he said, and he'll kill as many men, women, and children to obtain it. So it's like he even kind of struggled with that with Rick Flag. So is it like a deeper exploration into that and into that mentality? Because there are actual soldiers that, live and die like that. Um,
right.
I don't know if excited is the word, but certainly it makes me intrigued with where they're gonna go. Because when like the bad thing was when that post credit scene happened, I knew it was gonna be Peacemaker, but I had a small bit of hope that it was gonna be Rick Flag, despite us literally seeing him get stabbed in the heart.
Right. Like he wanted that confirmation. Like, nah, we're gonna show you some like Mortal Kombat confirm that this man is dead.
Yeah.
But did it get me excited? No. What did get me
No.
excited though is the fact that James Gunn wrote the entire series and is directing 5 out of the 8 episodes. That got me excited.
That was 6.
No,
Even
it's an eight
still,
episode
no,
series.
over half. No, I'm saying like I thought he was directing 6 out of the 8, but even still,
Uh,
more than half is a lot. Um, for any spinoff. So it's gonna have his fingers in it. Which is good.
right, and those people are returning. Like though, I feel like Peacemaker for the time that he was in the movie, he was good, but he's the only character in the movie that didn't really get. If you notice, like Harley had
He's the
her
only,
confrontation. Like Deadshot became a leader. Ratcatcher 2
yeah.
lived up to her potential. Uh,
Uh,
fucking
Harley
Polka
kind of
Dot Man became
continued
a
her
hero.
trajectory.
Harley continued her trajectory. Uh, fucking what's his name? King Shark
King
felt less
Shark
alone.
made
He
friends.
found friends. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Peacemaker stays the same from beginning to end.
I guess that's my thing is I'm like of all the characters, why did Peacemaker get the spinoff? If anything, who
Because he's
I'd
the
be
only one that
interested
didn't
to
get an
see.
arc. He's the
But
only
it's
one that
like
didn't get any character
he could
growth.
have written an arc in for him. His arc could have very easily been not trusting everything America says. If you wanted him to have an arc, it would have been him like learning to trust trust his morals rather than trust his philosophy.
No, but I think that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes it challenging because Rick Flag is the one who's morally righteous for what he believes is like individuality. He's
Right.
like the Steve Rogers, and this is like he's like Steve Rogers, and then
Peacemaker is
Peacemaker
like
is John Walker,
John Walker.
which
Into
make
both of their kind of logical to their more realistic modern extremes.
right, which I liked. Like I think the fact that he killed him, and now that we hate this guy, makes it more interesting that we have to follow him for 8 episodes.
Hmm.
Like I like that you make a guy unlikable for us to. If the show's well written enough, it makes you care about this guy. Like, what's his deal?
Right. I follow you on that. I'm absolutely curious in it. I don't know. I did find out the whole thing with Savant. Apparently, this version was a war veteran who was convicted of blackmail. He is recruited into the Task Force X to destroy the Corto Maltese prison on Jotunheim. After he watches the squad get killed, he suffers a PTSD attack and then runs away. And that's what. So it was mental illness, but not in the way I thought it was. It was. Hello, it is love. It's good old mental illness.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a great movie. I'm trying to think about like, do we want to move on, or do we want to kind of dig into why it isn't doing too great at the box office? Which I might have to go and see it in person because I think it's a great movie. I think it's DC's best. My favorite, I think, is still Shazam, just by a hair. Oh, wait! Before we like keep going, the fight choreography. Oh, it's so good. Fucking Harley's fight scene is good. And they get aspects of everybody has aspects of their character into the way that they fight. So they make use of the fact that one, she's a psychologist, two, she's insane, and three, she's a gymnast. And that also like her fight scene was so fucking crispy. It was consistent. It wasn't jumpy with the editing. Unlike some other properties that I enjoy. I think my favorite one was the show off match between Peacemaker and Bloodsport.
Yeah, that was great. And then that was so fucked up when he did the it's not that it's your mom, but like when Peacemaker did like the chop thing, I was like, ooh, that was nasty. But
Right.
also, it's believable that I don't know if Peacemaker in this universe has like some sort of super strength, but because John Cena looks just like a fucking beast, it makes
Like
it
a
believable
wall.
that it makes it believable that this man would have some sort of super strength.
Right. We should also, I guess, bring up Starro since we're doing full spoilers. I loved him. Thought it was fantastic. Should have been the villain of the fucking Justice League movie, but whatever. It's a different conversation. But I don't know. I thought he was used well. I think James Gunn really got it with this one in terms of the villain of his three Kate movies. In terms of villain, I think this is probably the best villain of them. I don't care what anyone
You know
says
what I
about
think?
Ego. I said what I said.
You know what I think would have been interesting is if because isn't the whole thing with Starro like he's a conqueror, he has the mind control. They did a thing in this. If Starro locks onto your face, like you're fucked. Like you're already dead at that point. Which I don't believe is the case in the comics. I think what if like some of that Team A Suicide Squad made it off of the beach and they're thinking they're actually doing shit, but you get to the finale and then like they show up, but then they immediately get sorrowed. I think that would have been funny. I think that would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been cool because, like, he had like some interesting ones in there, like Mongal. Javelin wasn't gonna do a goddamn thing.
Of course not.
You throw it once, the fight's over. But it's like him. Honestly, if he was smarter I was surprised. Is it weird that I was surprised that TDK actually died because his arms got shot? So
Right.
I'm like, in theory, you could survive that, but in theory,
Yeah, no.
if you treat it soon enough. I'm like, why didn't he?
Laugh, though. That made me laugh really hard when he's just
Oh
on the
yeah,
ground.
it was hilarious to see, especially when it initially happened when the arms popped off and floated over, and they just started hitting him. You just hear. I'm just like, pick up the guns, asshole! I'm like, just take the guns. Why are you hitting them? I'm like, why was that your first thought? Is not let me get the guns away from them so they don't shoot my arms. Yeah, no, that would have actually been crazy if Starro had made it far enough to like, I guess, walk their corpses. But most of their corpses were burnt to a crisp, so I guess James Gunn thought ahead of time. He's like, no, we will kill them hard and we will kill them soon.
Right.
And even Starro's death is like fucking nightmarish.
Yeah, it's fucks.
He,
Like having
he
a
had his
thousand little
eye
rats in your eye.
had his eye pierced by a giant spear, and then uh had his brain stems chewed out from the inside out by an army of like hundreds of thousands of rats.
That's some shit that would only work in a James Gunn.
But it's also like, yeah, it's some shit that in terms of explanation, but in terms like it's body horror. We were like, oh yeah, all that body horror of all the zombie like Starro half corpses and shit that the thinker was doing and molesting the better part of 3 decades. That was ugh.
Yeah.
I'm just like the implication of a lot of this stuff is really grim, but I'm also like, oh God. It's like imagine ants crawling into your brain and saying, yeah, we're gonna have a fun time here. Eat everything. And Star was just like, I just wanted to look at the stars. Like I know Bloodsport was like, we're gonna do the right thing. We want to be heroes for this. And I'm like, honestly, 30 years of rape and torture by the fucking doctor. Nah, just let him take it. I feel like that's a fair exchange. What's one country in South America? It's a thing of just like, as a black person, it's like, wow, America really stood by and let this happen. I'm just like, let it happen. No, this is my
Although I will
country.
say,
Yes, it is. We are leaving. Goodbye.
I think the visual noise combo of the little starfish coming out of Starro was fucking gross. But obviously it was intentional. I was like, ugh, that's like that made me feel weird. Like a thousand little vaginas like in this man's armpit.
Oh yeah, it activates the old tryptophobia, all those holes. Very creepy. His appearance was perfect. He looked like he was straight out of the comics, which I think is great.
Oh
It's
yeah,
also
it was great.
very hard to fuck up. But you know, if Zack Snyder did it, it'd be like be brown. He'd look like an actual starfish in all the worst ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his
Desaturate
eyeball
the
would be
starfish.
gray.
Right. Try to make it look more
Um,
scary than goofy.
yeah, and I'm just like the thing is the closer it is to how the comic actually was, the kind of creepier it looks because a giant
Right.
purple starfish is fucking scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
It's
like
like, oh
what,
yeah,
blue and pink in this one?
it's like a giant blue pink starfish with an eyeball in the middle that latches onto people's faces and then takes over their minds. Yeah, that's scary enough. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, but that's silly. Yeah, until it happens to you, until you're
Right.
looking up at it. Yeah.
I like the way
You
Starro
know,
moves too.
yeah.
Like the
He walks.
yeah. He
Um,
walks, but like he has like a little. You feel the gravity in his walk, like a little shake to him every time he steps a new step, and he has to like kind of like launch himself forward because like starfish don't walk like humans do. So he has to
right.
like use his momentum to move his body.
The way starfish actually walk is I mean they have little feet, so they kind of
Oh,
like very horizontal movements. If you ever seen them eat a whale carcass, that's a scary video.
I have not.
Oh, another shot that I really liked. Ratcatcher's flashback, where
Yeah.
her father is like, where is she from? She was from a Latin American country, but her father was Taika Waititi, who still had his Australian accent, which I'm like, we're just gonna glaze past that. But that flashback, the way that was shot and executed, I thought was absolutely gorgeous because it was all shown in the reflection of the window. Which like James did a really lot of like creative stuff with how this movie was shot, and it made me really happy. Who's the cinematographer on this? They did a fantastic job. Henry
I think
Bram.
I think it's his normal cinematographer, the guy he usually uses.
I believe you're half right. He was with them for Guardians 2. Um, he was also the cinematographer for Nanny McPhee and The Legend of Tarzan.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's working. He's the one. He's doing the Flash. Oh man, that movie might look really good. Shit. Wow. Okay. Fuck. And he's doing Guardians 3. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for this guy. Also did Golden Compass. Goddamn. But man, like I really like that flashback scene on the bus. Just because I'm like, that's a really creative integration of like using the lighting of the street lamps in the city to kind of showcase not just the poverty outside, but the poverty within her memories. When the rats would keep us warm at night, and I'm just like, whoa, that's disgusting but wholesome.
That's disgustingly wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, that's insanity. That's why your dad died.
It wasn't the heroin. It was the damn rat coat that he was wearing every night.
The damn diseased rats. You couldn't take it. Like the heroin may have helped, but like the rats what did the job. Like
the heroin fucked him up, but it was God's most humble of creatures, the rat, that did him in.
Like the heroin needle was the javelin. The rats what took him out.
We saw what the rats did to Starro. You think your father was spared? Oh man, I don't know. Do we have anything else to talk about with Suicide Squad? I just think it's great.
I think it's neat. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think we did a good job. Yeah, man. I think we can kill the Suicide Squad. We can blow up this topic and put it to bed.
Yes. Before we move on to the next topic, do you want a third one, and who would you want to direct it? Because I know who my pick would be.
Ooh, to direct a third Suicide Squad.
Yes. Let's call it Suicide Squad Task Force X, or a Suicide Squad.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna throw a wild choice out there. I think it'd be interesting to see Steven Soderbergh do a Suicide Squad.
That'd be it. Whoa, that's a pick. Mine is, it's actually, I have to give credit to somebody on like the CBC page for this suggestion. Guillermo del Toro.
Interesting. Why Del Toro?
I think he handles weird. I think he does the same thing as James, of being able to know how to bring something human to really weird, complicated, and nuanced characters. And especially if you're dealing with a bunch of fucking nobodies, that kind of gives you a lot of freedom.
Okay, interesting. I think Steven Soderbergh is very good at the dynamics. Like he did the fucking Oceans trilogy. Imagine like Oceans, but with a group of the Suicide Squad members, and each of them die along the way because of some fucking mission that they're trying to do.
You can't forget his magnum opus, Magic Mike.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad members are going to strip their way to glory and
look.
succeed.
If you don't think I'd watch a rat catcher cabaret show, you'd be wrong, sir.
Oh, I feel like it'd be really talky, and like it would only get action packed at the very end. But I'd like to see a Tarantino Suicide Squad movie.
God damn. Harley showing feet every 10 seconds. Don't do that to us. Yeah, take your feet off.
He really
take your feet off. Jesus, take your shoes off. Take your feet off, Harley. Bro, Quentin Tarantino would be playing the Joker. Then blow himself up as soon as he says the N-word 10 times.
Oh my god. But yeah, he would definitely have that war film thing.
He'd have Deadshot and Bloodsport in the same movie. He's like, "What's up, my niggas?" and then get shot immediately by both of them in sync.
Yo,
like it's Men in Black.
Bruh, could you imagine Will Smith opposite and Idris Elba acting opposite one another in an action movie?
I'd love to see that.
That'd be so sick. That'd be awesome.
I'd love to see that in like a spy movie. What was that like spy romance movie that came out a while back? Like that, but with like black people? I'd watch that. Like Will Smith, Idris Elba, with Gabrielle Union as like the lady that they're fighting for. Nigga, give me the $1 million. I'll make the damn movie. I'm a genius. Hollywood needs to listen to me.
Who are black stars right now? Okay, we gotta get Will Smith, Idris Elba, Michael B. Jordan, Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
All right.
Who we added to this team? I'm trying to think of like other.
John David Washington.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. John David gotta be in it. Of course. We got people who'd be like believable. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's our squad. Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors and his big, confusingly chocolate self.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's our
Concerningly
squad.
chocolate.
Yeah, that's our 6. That's a good 6 right there.
Who's on the other team? Regina King, Regina Hall, anyone else named Regina? They're just all Reginas. It's just them. It's just Regina King and Regina Hall.
The Regina Dynasty.
The Regina Dynasty. There's.
They take it over.
Okay. What other? We have another piece of Warner Brothers news to talk about too. You want to talk about Space Jam 2?
I'm down.
You haven't even gotten to the Disney shit. You want to talk about Space Jam 2 real quick, or do you want to skip Space Jam 2?
Bruh, Space Jam 2 is lit. Space Jam 2
is lit. Fucking... Thank you.
Space Jam 2
Finally,
is
somebody
so
that agrees
fun.
with me.
Space Jam 2 is so much fun. It's one of those movies. I went by myself to go watch Space Jam 2 in theaters, and you know what? Would. As a grown man should. I was a little under the influence of some California substances, and I had.
Bro, who cares? It's Space Jam.
It's space exactly. Like, if anybody's mad about Space Jam 2 and saying that is bad, like, you really need to check yourself.
You clearly haven't watched the first movie recently.
You clearly haven't watched the first one. You need to check your priorities. Check yourself at the door. You damn know well. You know damn well this movie wasn't going to be good. It's like you're not walking to the cinema to watch an Oscar masterpiece. No, you're watching a basketball star who doesn't act play basketball with some fucking cartoon characters, and that's exactly what I got. And along with some other shit, some entertaining shit. The thing that baffles me about Space Jam 2 is that let me just say this: I really enjoyed Space Jam 2. I watched it twice. I watched the shit twice, and I thought I don't think it's a good movie, but I think it's a really fun movie.
The first one isn't a good movie.
The first one's not a good movie, but I think the first one's fun too. Like, I used to love the Space Jam
I agree.
One as a kid. Then in 2015, I thought it was really trash, and then I went back to like really enjoying it for what it was. And not all movies have to be like good story, good acting, all this stuff. Like, sometimes it's just going to be entertaining, and I think that's exactly what it did. I think it's confused. It's a confusing movie because you know it's bad. This is it. Like it even says in the beginning of the movie that conceptually this is a bad idea, but then they go through with it anyway, in spite of making fun of its own concept. And also the fact that the movie doesn't really know who for, like, because it's like these Looney Tune characters. It's very kiddie, like with like the algae rhythm is for the children, and it's for children. But like the movie, like the middle section where they're recruiting the Looney Tune, what fucking kids have seen Austin Powers, Mad Max, and The Matrix? None of them. They don't know any of those references.
I'll do you one better. What kid has seen fucking A Clockwork Orange or the 1960s Batman show?
Exactly, but those are background characters. Those are like Easter eggs. I'm talking about the shit that they actually go to. Like, that's not for them. But yeah, you're right. Like those aren't for kids. Those should not be in a kids movie, quote unquote.
Oh, what kids have recently seen The Iron Giant? And I say that as like a stand for The Iron Giant.
I'm imagining very few children have seen The Iron. At least these days.
I could probably call like my nieces and nephews who are in the age demographic that this movie is probably shooting for, 15 and down. I don't think any of them have seen The Iron Giant, as far as I can think. Not even for any specific reason. You know who knows who The Iron Giant are? Better. We.
How many of them have seen the Gremlins? None of them.
Right. Maybe they've seen the first Space Jam. Well, okay, I'll give them that. Maybe they've seen the first Space Jam. That's about it.
Those Gremlins got a whole 3 frames to say hi. Also, which of these kids, if this is like between like 5 and 10, you said maybe 15, how many of them have seen Rick and Morty? Probably not a lot of them. Yet they had a whole a cameo. I'm like, they probably like, yeah, they're Warner Brothers property, they're flexing, but like, they didn't need to be in this movie. I'm happy that they were, but I was like, okay, I'll take the reference, sure. Yeah, man.
And that shit definitely did catch me off guard. Fucking Rick and Morty showing up, and I'm just like, oh shit. But there are a couple moments in the movie that like legitimately surprised me.
I got caught off guard too.
Yeah, like you know what? Really, like let's be real. Because I watched the first Space Jam and then watched the second one. And the only thing I can say is that the only thing the second one does worse is the soundtrack isn't as good, and that's it. Everything else is on the same level to me of entertainment. Like it's a big ass commercial for something. The old one was a commercial for Air Jordans and Michael Jordan's return to basketball, as well as Looney Tunes. The new one is a commercial for HBO Max. They're both commercials. They're both dumb. Like, here's the thing. At least in the second, like the second one actually has a more cohesive and integrated narrative than the first one does.
Yeah,
because
totally.
Michael Jordan has no stake literally till like the last 20 minutes, and that's because he puts himself there. He never had to play for the Looney Tunes. He could have just gone back or just hung out there. They're like, we need your help. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to help you because I'm Michael Jordan and I'm going to help you because I know you from my childhood. And the second one, they're like, they kidnapped my son. I need to make a team to defeat digital Don Cheadle in a game of basketball. It's like, okay, there's a reason for LeBron to be here. You know, they took his kid, got to get him back. Also, digital Don Cheadle sucks in random people from Earth, including Little Rel Howery. So it's just like, okay, now he has to like play basketball for the fate of a selective part of humankind. If you lose the game, LeBron, everybody's going to be trapped in here with me. And it's like, and never age and never die. Just be forced to watch whatever newly comes out on HBO Max. Okay.
Yeah, dude. And I feel like
not the worst Matrix to be trapped in.
Right. You know, like if you're going to shit on the movie, I deadass saw people that were like, well, I saw the original one as a kid, but I think it's bad. So I don't want to taint my memory. But this new one sucks. Like, I love the original one. I haven't seen it since I was a child, but this new one sucks. I'm like, bro, check your nostalgia out the door. Go face your fears. Go watch the original one and swallow your pride. Because it's not that good, bro. It's not that deep.
Right, because like, having watched it back to back, like I watched the original, I'm like, still love it. Still fucking love the original. Watch the second one, I'm like, that was great. It was on par with the original. What? Look, I expected it to be. I'm like, at worst, I'm like, it can't be worse than the original because the original's fucking dumb. Because here's the thing, they tried with this. Like clearly, effort and money was put into it. The animation was pretty damn good. Both CG and 2D, in my opinion.
Why do I feel like LeBron? But I think what also makes me laugh is unintentional. Like all of LeBron's like serious moments with like his kids and his family. Like I feel like that part of the movie LeBron wrote himself because like it's so like on the nose, and like the rest of the movie is so what is it like ham-fisted or like heavy-handed.
Oh yeah, so, about like being yourself, following your dreams.
Being yourself, following your dreams. It's not all about putting that work into the thing that someone else told you to be. You know, I was like, okay, like it's very, very apparent from the beginning of the going.
There's also something like, sorry, go ahead.
No, continue. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that like there's something almost like hilarious in a cyclical, like not cyclical, but there's something like hilarious about a famous basketball player telling his son, "No, son, put down learning how to be like a video game creator and computer engineer and play sports. You know, the more lucrative of those careers." the one with more long-term reusable skills, fucking basketball, not knowing how to work with computers and make your own video game that's functional at like age 12. No, son, learn how to be an athlete. That thing is surely only based off of like pure just learning how to be better at it every day. It's like, what?
Also, I love the fact that they Also, I love the fact that they full on like touch and give Bugs Bunny full on abandonment issues because his whole ass family just ditched him, and he's like the one dude who couldn't get over it and move on. But then just brush over that completely. Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna get him back and everything. Like, I was like, okay, like, he goes crazy.
Here's
What?
another thing too, since because you just reminded me when you brought it up about like the abandonment thing. There was absolutely no reason whatsoever for Zendaya to be cast as Lola Bunny, especially because Kath Soucie, the original Lola Bunny, recorded all her lines. So
Really?
there was. Did you care at all that Zendaya was the voice of Lola Bunny?
Not a single bit.
Did you
I didn't give
even
a single
notice?
shit. Because I know what Zendaya sounds like. It didn't bother me, honestly. Her
It
being
doesn't
the
bother me either. She was fine. It just served like no difference.
it served no. I don't know. I think.
Look, for the people that wanted to see the
Listen.
movie for Lola Bunny, like having Zendaya do it wasn't going to slow them down. Like, oh man, or nobody was
Okay,
on the fence. Like, I wasn't going to see it till they had Zendaya as the fuckable bunny girl, which she wasn't. She's just the basketball Amazon now.
yeah, like I didn't mind the reworking of Lola. I thought it worked for the movie. It didn't bother me that
Thought it
the
was
voice
cool.
actress was changed. Yeah, I felt like for the character that they put on screen for this sequel, I felt like it worked. Like it never took me out of the movie. Like it didn't sound like the other Lola. To me, that feels like a different character, and she was very one dimensional with her whole thing being sex and then kissing Bugs Bunny at the end because the fact that they're both fucking bunnies and bunnies are horny. I'm like, I like that she got actual character this time.
Which like what makes it sad is that like Cass Soucie, a seasoned voice actress from both of our childhoods, fucking Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats. Yeah, that's who Cass Soucie is. Congrats,
Oh
I ruined your
Lord.
childhood. You want to fuck Tommy Pickles now. But it's just
Oh,
like
I didn't
that
know.
she easily has the range to play Lola the way they wrote her in this movie, which she didn't do much. But it's like they just randomly replaced her. God,
So
she's
she
in a lot.
really recorded all of her dialogue and then they just didn't use
It. I could be wrong. I think that might have been a rumor, but
because I'm
nonetheless.
like, that's pretty fucked if that's the case. I'm like, she
But here's the
could
thing: you could have saved money. Like this movie just kind of threw money at random places. Because like, notice in the boardroom scene, it was Sarah Silverman and who's our boy that
and
plays Invincible. Man,
Steven Yen.
Steven Yeun. Why did they need to be there? That could have been anybody. Why did you
It really
specifically
could have.
cast Sarah Silverman and Steven Yeun for a 5-minute scene where they had like a sentence, maybe 3 sentences at best? They were in it for no reason. Zendaya was in it for no reason. Lil Rel Howery.
Cameos.
Yeah, they were all just cameos from actors who were very talented to appear in. Like Lil Rel Howery had more lines than the executives did.
No, totally. Yeah, he's one of the commentators.
He was one
I'm
of the
like,
commentators, which like at least his sort of makes sense.
how did you feel when you saw Michael B. Jordan show up?
That shit right there. Oh, that might have been one of my favorite moments in the movie because I legitimately didn't see it coming. I thought because I forgot that he existed when they said
Right.
Michael Jordan, and I'm just like, oh shit, did they actually get Michael Jordan? And then this nigga walks in. When I tell you, I had to pause the movie because I was so damn weak. I felt so many emotions. I didn't know whether to laugh, cry, scream, holler, because everyone's like, oh yeah, you would have seen it coming a million miles away. No, especially not after directly watching the first movie. My thought is,
Right.
wow, they actually they were throwing money at all this other random shit at the Iron Giant, Sarah Silverman, Steven Yeun, Zendaya and shit. I wouldn't be shocked if they did get Michael Jordan. But then it's like,
No,
oh,
definitely.
Michael B. Jordan. I'm like, all right, that's funny.
But
That's funny.
the only reason that joke works is because Michael B. Jordan is hot and socially relevant and happens to have the same name. Like it's too much of an easy layup for it not
It's a
to work.
joke that only works off of so much fucking coincidence.
Right.
It's also because one of the producers is Ryan Coogler. So of course it was the easiest favor of all time. It's like, Ryan, you're an executive producer on Space Jam 2. He probably sent him a text and said, hey, you want to be in Space Jam 2? And he said, hell yeah, nigga. Like, that was the conversation. like you said, it was the easiest layup of all time. HBO Max probably didn't have to spend any money. He said, "Fuck yeah, I love LeBron James and Bugs Bunny." Like, he probably didn't get paid. He said, "Fuck it, I'll do it for free." That's my nigga Ryan.
I wholly imagine that's exactly what happened. I fully believe that he didn't get paid to do that.
Right. I loved it. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie was when it's like, oh, we got Michael Jordan. And then they showed the shoes. I'm like, oh shit. Is it actually Michael Jordan? And then fucking Killmonger walks in. It's like, all right, HBO, got me. I don't know what to do with this one. You got me feeling 7 emotions at once. You got me. You got me with this.
Yeah, man. I thought the movie was a lot of fun, and I'd watch this Space Jam 3. Fuck it, why not?
Why not? Give me. I think it'd be more interesting if they stuck with the original. So the original plans for the Space Jam sequels were, right?
Oh, like
they were gonna do different sports. So I'm just like, why not lean into that now? Fuck it, let's do Skate Jam, dude. Gym Jam with Simone Biles. Flip Jam.
The Gym Jam.
No, Stick Jam.
Stick Jam. Who the fuck would be Stick Jam?
Because you got to stick the landing.
Oh, Stick Jam.
Flip Jam with Simone Biles, Gabby Douglas, and who's the other fine-ass girl that's retired now? Michaela Maroney. If you don't think I will watch Speed Jam with Sha'Carri Richardson, even though she came in 9th in her race today, still, I got hope. We rooting for the girl. But Race Jam?
Race Jam, yep.
Race Jam, yo! Sha'Carri Richardson. I got the whole franchise lined up.
Bro, you need to hit these executives, man.
Right, I told you, bro. I'm a fucking genius. I already got this shit. We got Race Jam with Sha'Carri.
Welcome to the Race Jam.
Welcome to the Race Jam.
I think that's the only missed opportunity of the new one, that they didn't put the OG Space Jam song. Like the Space Jam is literally in the title. The one missed opportunity of this new one.
Yeah, I guess that's another missed thing. Because did you listen to the soundtrack for Space Jam 2?
I don't know.
It's I ain't even gonna hold you. It's kind of mid. They did a remix of Pump Up the Jam, but with Lil Uzi Vert. I'm like, that's the worst person you could have picked. I would have done a better job.
That's the worst person you could have picked.
At least top 5 worst, because you know how Uzi raps. He's mad, kind of like monotone. So you got this hype at, because Pump Up the Jam is a hype ass, like that's a song you lift weights to. Pump Up the Jam. And then you got Uzi coming in, pump up the jam, pump it up. Yeah. I'm like, nigga, can we pretend we're excited?
Can we pretend? Can we try, please?
Right, like there's another track on there. It's like, I think it's Saweetie, Big Lotto, and Salt and Pepper. I guess because they were on the original. Like, that's probably one of the better songs. That one and the one that's Kirk Franklin and Lil Baby. Collaboration I never expected in a million years. I guess Chance the Rapper song was okay. There are a couple that are like okay, but
Chance
that original
soundtrack
Space
Jam album.
She does.
I need to listen to it. Okay, fine. I guess I'll listen.
I should give it a listen just because I'd be curious what your thoughts would be next time we talk.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get into it. I'll check it out before next show. I'll check it out.
Grab my nuts. Go ahead. I think that's it for all of our WB shit. All right, let's see how quickly we can get through all the Disney shit into the last bit of news. Let's start with the short shit. Riri Williams is going to debut in Black Panther 2, according to Kevin Feige. I am mixed on it. What do you think?
I don't have any strong feelings. I don't really know too much about Riri Williams. I think it is a clever thing for Marvel to do. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm a little mixed on it because I know she's a character more tied to Iron Man, but and Riri Williams is an American character, So for them to put the black Iron Man, the black female Iron Man in a movie with the black people to like sell black people on Iron Woman, I think is a little odd.
They all have different colors: red, gold, black, purple. They're colored. Put all the colored women together.
Yeah, I feel like it's a ploy to sell black people on this new character by introducing her into a popular, predominantly black franchise. That's what I feel this is. But it's all about execution. Like that's gonna be their intention behind this. Executed well. That's all that really matters to me.
Yeah, like I said, for everybody black. I'm mixed because someone reminded me. I almost forgot about how like fucking traumatic Riri Williams' origin is. Her best friend and her stepfather get shot at a cookout because she lives in Chicago, like when she's like a child.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I kind of don't want to see that. I kind of want them to change her backstory a little bit. I also kind of want them to. I'm thinking that like because this was Bendis before he went to DC. Mm-hmm. So back when he was like doing Miles book 2, and his writing on that run wasn't too great either.
Wait, didn't correct me if I'm wrong? Didn't Shiri, the end of Black Panther, like she went to California to run the Oakland thing or Oakland Center?
Yeah. At the end of the movie, they opened the like Wakandan center for.
But did she stay in America to run it?
I don't think so because she was there at Endgame.
Right. But I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I mean, it's not like she can't go back.
That would be the connection. I feel like Riri and Shiri would be like the connection of how she.
That's what I'm imagining. Is it's probably through the Wakandan outreach, and they probably have a center in Chicago, or she's like visiting the one in Cali or some shit like that. It's not hard to write in. It's just more so curious as to what they're gonna do and how they're gonna integrate it.
That feels like the best option.
We'll see because they're shooting right now. But congrats to Dominic Thorne. The final trailer for Eternals. I think we're in the same place about this. It exists. It is not. I know a lot of people are very excited for it. I'm gonna see it. I have no opinions. It's just like it's not really bringing me anything. Like Shang-Chi, I'm excited for. Especially after seeing that new clip. I'm just like, oh my god.
I didn't watch it.
The fight choreography is like, their editing is better. Like, finally.
I hear the movie. I heard the movie is fantastic. Like, the trailers didn't get me super excited, but I hear everyone's buzz. Pumped for it. As for Eternals, the other one who's really hyping, and he's the man of the studio. And we know Chloe Zhao is like the Oscar-winning director. The trailer, it intrigued me. I think it's going to give us a lot of context for some things of the MCU. Because it feels like, at least so far from the trailers, it feels very much on trying to get people on board with these characters that have technically been around since the beginning and trying to convince us as to why they've done nothing. And it's going to give us a lot of context for like some cosmic MCU stuff.
because the Celestials told them not to.
Right. I think it's going to be like a family drama kind of thing. And like, I don't know, I like Brian. And I think the jokes in the trailer worked for me. Like the joke made. So I don't know. I think I'm going to watch it. Obviously, I'm going to see it. None of the action really did anything for me, which is probably a sign that they're saving like the good shit for the actual movie, which is good. I'm happy, but that's the price. Like because Shang-Chi, apparently they reserved a lot of the dope shit for the actual film, and I feel like they're doing the same with Eternals because they did say this is the final trailer, which they really didn't give us much in either trailer, which means they're hiding a lot of shit. Which
I'm hoping that is the case.
It's a double-edged sword though, because it's bad for marketing, it's bad for getting people excited, but it's good for preserving the film itself and letting the film speak on its own. So I think Marvel's
Right.
really not one trusting the relationship they build with the audience by trusting their consistency with knowing that they at least have a palatable content. Like I think most of the stuff ranges from like acceptable, passable to like really good or even great. So I feel like Marvel's built up that trust with their audience that to know that even if there is a trailer, just to get people some sort of insight, that people are gonna go watch it. Simple sake that Marvel. And yeah, I think this is just another case of that. And I feel like they're playing it extra close to the chest. They don't want to reveal the secrets. And I'm cool with that. I know I'm gonna watch it. You're gonna. So it's just for
Yeah.
the film to do the work on its own now.
I think more so probably than even Shang-Chi. I think Eternals is going to be the one that's really going to need positive reception and word of mouth, which I think, of course, is going to get. Most Marvel movies, usually get that reaction. But like seeing Shang-Chi, I'm just like, it's it's a martial arts movie that has more of my interest than this expansive sci-fi film. And I think it has the same challenge that Guardians of the Galaxy had, where it's a bunch of people that, let's be real, nobody knows except for like really, really deep in their Jack Kirby nerds and fans. Again, like I said, nobody knows them. And you have to make us give a shit about like 8 people in a 2.5 hour movie. And also just like get us invested and then set up things for the future. So I wouldn't want Chloe Zhao's situation right now, but I'll watch it. It's just I don't think the trailer was particularly grabbing. I mean, this was the first time we even really got a mention of kind of the semblance of the plot. So like you said, I think they
But
are
here's the
hiding
thing.
a lot.
Here's the difference between the marketing between when Guardians first came on the scene versus Eternal. It's that Guardians came out the gate with the hooked on a trailer, with the hooked on a feeling trailer, and like
Personality.
the personality, they really like got people hooked on the fun of what this adventure was going to be, this space opera adventure with these characters. But in this movie, they're all human, and I feel like they spent a lot of time focusing on the grandiose nature of it, the aspects of it, like how serious this movie is, and like it feels very much like a drama with people that happen to have powers. And I feel like is that what the movie is? I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I feel like that's definitely the approach and the angle they're trying to put across it. I don't know if that's necessarily the tone for a trailer that gets people in the seats, because I feel like you got to get people in the movie while also not advertising what it is in a false. And I feel like that's a tough kind of sell to do. If this is more of a character that spans time, how are you going to present that in a way that seems fun for mass audience? And I feel like that's a tough line to watch in that. But
Yeah, I agree.
like I said, Marvel's built up that audience. They know that they're gonna make. They're basically pretty money at this point. And that's my 2 cents about that nearly 3-minute trailer.
I agree with you. Let's move on to What If. That out.
What if?
Is that the last of the? Oh yeah, we got one. Do we want to talk about the other trailer and then get What If? We can talk about Visions.
Visions. Oh yeah, we can talk about Visions.
Visions. Visions. That shit has me excited. Let me tell you something. Oh God, it looks so. All the styles are beautiful. I actually recognized a couple of those studios when I saw the names. The cast that they have for it, fucking huge. Like a lot of big names. I was loving the anime. This is like what I've been just fucking craving from, like them going balls to the walls. Also, they finally brought back like the arguably one of the best parts of Force Awakens, the fact that Kylo Ren could stop a blaster bolt mid-flight, and I'm like, why has no one ever done that since that movie? It's one of the most creative things I've ever seen done, and it hasn't shown up again, I don't think, at all, except for maybe once in Mandalorian. And then in the trailer for this anime, who we got? So we got 6 Japanese animation studios: Kamikaze Doga, Twin Engine, Trigger, who I love Trigger, Kinema Citrus, Production IG, that's another one I know, and then Science Saru, telling their own original stories based on the Star Wars universe. Let's see. People we have in the cast already confirmed. For The Duel, Brian T., Lucy Liu, Jaden Waldman, Tatooine Rhapsody, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Bobby Moynihan, Tamara Morrison reprising his role as Boba Fett, Shelby Young,
Oh,
Mark
what?
Thompson, Twins, Neil Patrick Harris, Allison Brie, Jonathan Lippow, The Village Bride, Karen Fukuhara, Nicole Sakura, Christopher Sean, Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa, Andrew Kishino, and Stephanie Shea. Ooh, damn. The Ninth Jedi, Kimiko Glenn, Andrew Kishino, Simu Liu, our boy Shang-Chi, Masi
Oh,
Oka, Greg Chun, Neil Kaplan, Michael Sinterniklas, EOB1, Jaden Waldman, Kyle Chandler, The Elder, David Harbour,
wow.
James Hong, Jordan Fisher, Lup and Ocho, Anna Cathcart, Hiromi Dames, Paul Nakauchi, Cal McCarley, and Aka Kiri, Henry Golding, Jamie Chung, George Takei, Keon Leung, Lorraine Toussaint. This cast is absolutely fucking bonkers. And it's extremely diverse. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, it really is. It's kind of amazing. Now, yeah, the trailer got me really hyped too. I never thought I'd ever see a day where we would get anime and Star Wars crossing over. It looks even better than I could have imagined to be. And I
I've
hope that this
hmm,
is successful. I hope that people watch it. That maybe, just maybe, get an anime film that is in the Star Wars
yes. Oh my
universe.
god.
That would be really dope. So, did they put in a release date on that?
September 22nd.
September 22nd. Ooh, okay. And assuming they're going to do the week to week thing, been
I'm
doing.
assuming so. Um
Okay.
This Ninth
That gets me
Jedi one
excited.
is really has my attention because we got Kimiko Glenn, Andrew Kishino, Simu Liu, Chun, Michael St. Nicholas. I know the fact that I know a lot of these names.
How many times have you
Um,
watched the trailer?
I've only watched it once, but I need to watch it again just because it's so beautiful at that. It's just really nice to look at, especially with all the
Yeah.
different styles.
Yeah, I've only seen
But
it once
goddamn,
too.
like
But
I want to watch it again because this is it's a thing that I didn't know I needed.
no, yeah, me neither. Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, yeah, I watched it. To be honest, I don't think I'm gonna watch it again because I just want to experience it like in its entirety, and I don't want to. I know it looks cool, and that's about it.
I
That's all I remember. I don't remember any animation style, any specific
mean, I
action
do
scenes. I
remember
remember
there
the
was
laser bolt.
somebody had I
What?
remember the laser bolt and I remember somebody had like five lightsabers against somebody that was dual wielding and it was like a female Sith.
Oh, what? I don't remember that. That's dope.
Do you remember that? Oh wow, one of these episodes is actually set after the events of Rise of Skywalker. Thank God, finally some shit that happens after that bullshit movie.
Did they confirm that
Yeah,
these are also canon in the Star Wars universe?
I'm let's see. Star Wars, according to the development here on Wikipedia, Star Wars Vision stories were not required to adhere to the established Star Wars timeline. So as far as it's saying the duel specifically billed as an alternate history pulled from Japanese lore. Apan Ocho is set during the reign of the Galactic Empire between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. The Elder is set sometime before Phantom Menace, while the Twins involves remnants of the Imperial Army after Rise of Skywalker, and the Ninth Jedi will explore what became of the Jedi Knights after the Rise of Skywalker. Now that's interesting.
Interesting. Okay, I'm with
And
that. The
Ninth
Ninth
Jedi
Jedi.
is, I think that's the last episode of the season. It's the ninth episode. Um, so I'm, you know, from the sounds of it, I'm thinking like Ninth Jedi, the Twins, um, and the duel are probably ones I'm most intrigued in. Maybe the Elder. No. Oh wait, no, they're all dropping the same day from the look potentially. I could be wrong, but it's saying that they're all dropping on the 22nd.
Oh, okay. I'm not mad at that either.
I'm mad at
Cool.
that. I will binge the shit out of this. Oh
Oh,
yeah, they're 9 short films. They're all going to drop on the 22nd. Okay. Wow.
hell yeah.
Oh
Hell
yeah. Man.
Down.
Oh, I'm excited. Oh man, it's so good. Okay. Well, staying on the topic of animated series, let's talk about the first 2 episodes of What If came out, what we think, how we feel, what we want to do. So the first episode is I'm not going to use the actual titles. I'm just going to call them what the fans are calling them. Captain Carter. Um I like it. I think it's a solid start, albeit a little safe. Um, Peggy Carter's. I think she's a fan favorite at this point. Um, what's the name of the actress? Margaret. Haley Atwell.
At least, yeah,
Haley
Haley Atwell.
Atwell is. Haley Atwell is always like a pleasure to see returning to the role. It was I'd say Captain Carter was it's a very safe episode, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. I was surprised
Yeah.
at how much the animation style grew on me, you know, throughout the episode. Because
Yeah, no.
initially that and the character designs I was kind of on the fence on, but
Oh, I love the character designs. I love that they displayed. It really showed that in animation you can go so much further than you can as far as displaying one take shots of characters in action. Because I think in that 20, was it 30 minutes or 5 minutes?
it was about 30 minutes.
It was about 30 minutes. I feel like in that 30 minutes we got a better sense of what Captain Carter can do in the field than we did in that 2-hour film with Steve Rogers in the first Avenger. And I felt like she showed herself as an adversarial, real threat. She's very much a female empowered badass and very capable of being a leader. And I know a lot of people had it with it kind of retreading the steps of the first Avengers, but I honestly loved it because it's revisionist history. It's the perfect first episode to introduce the concept of What If, but it's also the perfect first thing to come out following the heels of the finale of Loki. And it really showed like that small difference, the variant, the Nexus event that created this alternate timeline and branched all things that are to come from that specific decision. And
Right.
yeah, and I thought it was so cool that even though when what's his name? When Red Skull lost the opportunity to have the Tesseract, he had a backup plan in place.
Mm.
And I think that the fact that he had a backup and they found like a clever loop to or a shortcut route to get Captain Carter from World War II into the present day to set her up for the events of Avengers. And in a I don't know, man. I think they did a really efficient job of capturing the tone of First Avenger with like the fun adventure. Like it had like I don't think it had the same tone. It had the same beats, but it had a very different tone.
Yeah, I
Not
think
an extreme. Yeah, it was like not more like swingers. I don't know. I think I think I like Captain Carter's montage more than Steve's montage in the movie.
which and I think that was something that I definitely noticed. The I think the second episode handled it a little bit better just because it was a little bit more. It was vastly different. The pacing of the first episode was light speed.
Oh yeah,
It
super
didn't
quick.
take me out, but it was just like I'm like, boy, this episode is fucking zooming, isn't it? Which I think that
Mm-hmm.
might kind of lend credence to what you're saying as far as the montage goes. Like, yeah, Steve had his montage, but it was a lot more spaced out. Because there are like I think a couple of them really. There's more like development, but for this one, like we got to get to this thing that happens. But I don't
Mhm.
know. I fell in love with Captain Carter as a character. I always am excited to see Haley Atwell. Give me more, tough, strong, big women to protect me, keep me safe on these cold winter nights. um, there was something that we both agreed on, though, and this carries over to the next episode before we get into it, as well as I'm guessing this is probably how it's going to be for the rest of the series because I noticed it even from the first trailer we got for it. Voice direction in this is very weird.
Oh, and the second one,
The first one, well,
the
both of them,
first one.
really. It's more noticeable in the second one.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like Haley Atwell sounded
Haley's
like Captain
fine.
Carter. Haley's fine. Who are you
It
referring to?
it varies like actor to actor. Like I think the one we noticed in the first one was probably a little bit of Sebastian Stan, really. Howard was all right. Steve was fine. Very good performance
Sebastian.
by
I don't
Josh
know. I feel
Stevens.
like Sebastian Stan. It felt different. It felt like a lighter version of the Bucky we got in
Right.
the first Avenger. Because you have to remember, Bucky in first Avengers pre-trauma, like he's like a playboy. He's not a playboy. He's a
Soldier.
soldier, but
He's
he's
a little
like
bit of a
cool with the
playboy.
ladies. He's kind of a playboy. He's,
Yeah.
he's popular with the ladies. Very very different Bucky than we get throughout the rest of it. So I feel like they definitely were able to recapture that levity that Bucky had.
Yeah.
And I think all of the characters looked like they did a good job capturing the visual look of
Yeah,
the actors,
they're pretty good.
except for Dr. Erkin. I look like a totally different. I was like, that looks nothing like Stanley Tucci.
But yeah, which is weird because they got Stanley Tucci back for it. He had what, 6 words?
Yeah, yeah. He did 6 words.
They got they
I
got they got a lot of people back for this, which is good. But it's just like they didn't come back to do much.
right. Uh,
Um,
I
I
think the
appreciate it.
second. Yeah, I think the second episode did. I don't. I have mixed feelings about the second episode. I enjoyed the ride. I thought it was fun. It definitely
You want
didn't
to
feel
get
like
into
a
the second episode?
rehash. Yeah. Did you have more thoughts on the first one?
Um, I thought her getting Excalibur was really cool.
That was dope. That was pretty cool.
I wish her toy had the sword too. Her with the sword and the shield, I thought was gangster as fuck. I really like that.
I hear she's gonna appear in there's a rumor she's gonna appear in live action, but I feel like how is that gonna work? Like, yeah, they're gonna have the multiverse, but like
Multiverse of
Haley
Madness.
Style Haley Style ain't like beefy like that, like in real life. So, like, how are you gonna make like
Oh
a
yeah,
tall ass
they're gonna have to
Haley
shoot her a little differently because she's like clearly towering over Steve as well as several other men in the show. Not that she's not fit; she's working on Mission Impossible right now, so she's
oh, is
probably
she?
in shape. Yeah, the
Like
new she posted a picture of her with Tom Cruise, so she's probably
like
in shape.
Haley Atwell's cool and all, she's fit and all, but like face
She's
facts,
not.
facts be facts. Captain Carter's a big bitch. Like, come on.
She a big woman. That's a big shawty. That's a lot of woman.
A
I
lot
don't
of
know if the
woman.
average man is built for that kind of woman. Well, now you're making me wonder. Hold up, let me see how tall is Haley Atwell. I think that's really going to be the big seller.
She got stature. I think Haley. I'm gonna guess. You look it up, and I'm gonna guess. She is. I'm gonna guess she's like 5'8".
You're really close. She's 5'7". She's my height.
Oh, I was close. I was close. But yeah, I
I'll
have to
put her in some
imagine.
big ass boots.
I feel like I need to rewatch the episode, but I feel like she was taller than Steve. I feel like
She,
that extra
I,
that
there's no feeling to it. You're right.
not
Just
not
right.
Steve like regular Cap. Yeah, she's taller than regular
Oh,
because she had that extra.
She probably is taller than both of them.
She
Super
got
Steve
that.
and regular Steve.
She got the extra serum. What? She got the extra
She did.
vial.
You were the one that pointed that out to me.
Yeah, because like, what was it? I'm trying to remember in the first Avenger. I know that extra vial got destroyed, but I can't remember at what point it got destroyed.
It got destroyed, I think, in the ensuing battle when Homeboy got shot. because Peggy
No,
wasn't
because
in the
didn't he?
room, so I think somebody
No, because
stepped on it.
didn't he make it all the way out? Like he was, yeah, because he was running away. Like the guy who killed Dr. Erskine, he was
Oh,
there to steal the serum, and I think he like caused the bomb, and then he took one of them, and then he made it out, and then Steve was chasing him. But I can't remember. I know that it got destroyed, and I know that they made a point of showing that it didn't happen in this version of the universe. But I'm surprised. I don't think any of the Easter egg videos pointed that out, to my knowledge.
yeah. You were the one that pointed that out to me. I'm like, damn, he got a good ass point. Anyway, let's go on to episode 2. Star Lord, Black Panther, Star Panther, Lord T'Challa.
I like the episode, though I have some issues with it. There's some
Okay.
certain things that took me out of it. The fact that
I thoroughly enjoyed the second one. I liked it more than the first one, which surprised me. But do we want to talk about positive, or do we want to talk about gripes first?
let's talk about let's give it its flowers. Let's talk about the shit we liked first.
Okay.
Okay.
So out of
I
sheer
liked T'Challa's
coincidence,
suit.
I was wearing a Black Panther shirt when I saw the episode like that day. I didn't plan it. I just picked a shirt out the drawer, and then I realized I'm like, oh, it's the Panther episode. And then I got to the end. I'm like, oh, my heart. why my eyes burn. But no, I think I think it's a very pretty episode. I think it's a lot more ambitious than the first one, which is good because I think
1000%.
Captain Carter was the warm up. This is a bit more of a taste of like what we're gonna have to expect for the rest of the series.
Yeah,
The
no, I
animation is good.
definitely. Yeah,
Like the story.
Captain Carter was definitely like the intro one. And now that you're familiar with the concept, let's go balls to the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you're continuing. You like the story. You like the.
Oh yeah, I like the story. I like most of the performances. I don't think no one was bad. This is like I mentioned earlier. The voice direction in here is a lot more noticeably a little odd to me. Oh, okay. So the thing I was going to tell you earlier, I don't know if a lot of people have picked up on, but I think there's a deep cut reference in here. So when T'Challa is taking the pictures with Drax, do you know what that's probably a reference to?
No, what?
So way back when they were casting Guardians, Chadwick Boseman actually initially auditioned for Drax, but they found him to be too regal and wanted him to role for T'Challa, and he got T'Challa.
Oh.
So I think that's actually like a really deep cut reference to that.
So what did Chadwick Boseman audition with Dave Bautista?
No, but he auditioned for the role of Drax. I don't know if he was there the same day or something.
He auditioned for Drax?
Yeah, in Guardians.
And
if you look it up on YouTube, you can see, I think it's Victoria Alonso is the casting director. You can see her talking about it. And she's like, he played him with such like regal nobility. We didn't think it really fit the character. We're like, this would be perfect for Black Panther. What about that?
Right. That's an interesting little reference for Star-Lord, for T'Challa to be with Drax. I thought that was pretty cool. I never noticed that. I never realized.
Right. So I think that's what that was a reference to.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed a few things watching. I thought the differences in what we know, them breaking your expectations, or like subverting your expectations rather. Especially with that first scene, like T'Challa ain't playing no fucking games. He's not there dancing on Morag to try to get the Power Stone. Like, he's good at his job. Like, he knows what he's doing. And then Daman Hansu's character, like, he reveres him, even though I don't know. I feel like that's a nitpick. I'll go into my nitpick later. But
the way that he
yeah.
was acting,
Korath? Not the way he was acting. It's just that, again, this is a nitpick. The fact that Star-Lord got his name because that's what his mom called him. So why do people call T'Challa Star-Lord?
Probably because he's regal and in the stars.
He's
That's
Wakandan
probably
Prince
the
in the
main.
stars.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, I guess technically, well, he is a prince. He's still a prince, like on Earth. So because I mean, doesn't he
that's
even
pretty
kind of
cool.
downplay the name too?
Does he?
Wasn't there a point when like he said you're the Star Lord, and I think he said it's not that big of a deal.
I don't remember.
He's pretty humble.
But I think that's
Well,
also cool, the fact that T'Challa Star-Lord is a prince to a Wakandan nation, and comic Star-Lord is a prince of Spartax?
Spartax. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're both princes in a way. That's pretty interesting. I just thought of that now. Yeah, so I like that. I like the fact that this wasn't a retread of Guardians, even though it takes place in the same, because the event of them picking up a different kid changed the whole trajectory of what the Ravagers even represented, and this is more of like a heist film set in the world of the cosmic MCU. And even though it had a lot of those characters, it was fun, but it didn't feel like James Gunn's Guardians, but it definitely felt like it was that same world, which I dug. Okay. I like T'Challa's suit, and I'd like to cosplay that one day.
Yeah. His costume
His
grew on me
costume.
his costume. I really liked it. When I
It's
initially
better than
saw it, I was just
Quill's.
kind of like, it felt kind of mid. But when I watched it like more in action, I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of fire.
Bro, this man's Star-Lord mask is black and gold with purple eyes. That shit is fire. That shit is
That's
so
purple. I
cool.
didn't see the black on it.
Dude, like the outside of it, like look at a picture of it right now. The outside of it's black, the middle piece is gold, and the eyes are along with that purple jacket. And then like the shirt's gray and he has like the Black Panther necklace around his neck.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a fire ass outfit.
That's really dope.
Yeah, you see it?
I think so.
Yeah, like you can see it on the Funko for sure.
Okay. I'll take another look at it. But yeah, I like seeing Nebula with hair.
Mm-hmm. I
You know,
like seeing
him
Thanos be good.
rehabilitating Thanos was I the only one that felt blindsided when he showed up? Also
I was super
portrayed by Josh
blindsided.
Brolin. Because he's like, well, thanks to you, T'Challa. And I'm like, what the shit?
But he has
Grimace is here?
all right, but he's like performed, but he still has that bad to him. Like I'm trying to think of like the best like equator of like a villain. Like it's not quite Vegeta, but it's like there's like
No, it kind of is Vegeta-ish.
it is Vegeta, but I'm thinking of someone who's like a good guy, but still has like those bad thoughts and tendencies, but yet they're on the good side.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's killing me. Like it's not Bakugo because Bakugo is just an ass, but
Bakugo's the worst.
fuck Bakugo and fuck you Bakugo fans if you're watching this. No, I'm just kidding.
I
We love
agree.
you.
It's on the set.
Oh yeah, no, I take it back. No, fuck you.
Whole lot of hateful shit.
Whole lot of hateful shit. You have daddy issues.
You're not wrong. But what else? The Collector did way more. He was basically a space gangster. He kind of picked up Thanos' place.
Oh, I kind of did. He got like stupid ripped out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, Collector, collecting these gains, shit.
I'm not playing
collecting all these muscles.
Yeah. Collecting Mjolnir, the hammer, these muscles, these drugs.
The muscles.
I guess I do have a nitpick. Howard showed up for too short.
Howard was playing. Howard was on some. I think Howard got issues. He needs some. like, bro, we're on a mission. You second drink. First of all,
The
you in a
bar's
locked
open.
ass cage. How did you get the first drink? That's not a real question.
Hey, look, don't worry about that, bro.
Who gave this man the first one? Like, Collector, you got some loyal host fucking chamber, man. Somebody snuck that man the drink. Somebody did it. I bet it was the pink girl. I bet she swindled the pink girl into getting him a drink, and they got like some secret shit on the side, but they collected on. And that's why she really trying to her corkscrew.
Mm-hmm.
The Howard.
I don't usually do this, but slides him that drink.
Howard's smooth with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else really.
What do you say? You know, once you go duck, like
you won't be unfucked.
There you go. That's the one. That's the line.
Once you go duck, you know what's up.
Yep. Get that corkscrew in your butt.
Them corkscrew shits.
Never forget. For those who you don't know who we're talking, go Google what a duck's penis looks like. You'll never be the same. You'll never be the same. Another thing I had a nitpick with Yondu's voice. I know that was Michael Rooker, but he didn't sound like Yondu at all. He sounded like Michael Rooker, but Yondu has a specific voice. He has like this southern twang to him. He has like fucker, I'm your daddy, like that kind of shit. And he didn't have any of that. I was like, did James Gunn did this man need James Gunn to like bring that out of him, or like were they like very just like loose with it in the recording process? Did they not remind us that character is supposed to be? I don't know, but it took me out of it a little bit.
That was something that we were talking about before the show. That I felt like the voice direction for a couple people was a little weird. Like even T'Challa's was a little off at some points.
Yeah, it didn't sound like T'Challa's at some point.
Ravager never flies solo. I'm like, why does that sound odd?
That doesn't
it's
sound
not like it's not him. It's the way he was directed to say it felt off.
Like I need the proof. I need the BTS footage of Chadwick delivering that line.
Yeah, because Josh Brolin pretty much sounded the same as Thanos.
He sounded exactly the same, especially when he let out that scream when he got stabbed in the leg. I'm like, yep, that's Thanos right there. That's that Thanos scream. I know that scream.
Oh, Benicio del Toro. Maybe I haven't heard him speak, like in full sentences, but that didn't sound like him. It was him.
It sounded like him to me. Maybe he didn't like have that same sort of like mystical, like mysterious quality that the
I think it's because he wasn't speaking.
Had.
I've never heard him speak in like a regular tone. He always just kind of like the roles I've seen him in, he kind of speaks low or kind of mumbles. So to hear him clearly enunciate all his words is kind of odd for my ears. And that's the way it was written, and that's the way it was played. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like the way it was directed. It's like, oh, that's jarring.
Right, because for animation,
like yeah,
that makes sense. I thought Taserface was good. I thought Kraglin was good. I thought it was cool to include those characters.
Nebula was good.
Yeah, I think Nebula sounded different, but I think I didn't mind. I knew it was Cara Gillan, but I didn't mind it.
Oh, see, she sounded pretty much the same to me.
I feel like Nebula has this like this sort of deeper tone. This like
I think that's also partially the cybernetics too.
Yeah, exactly. She has this
she does have like a
bitter thing to her, but she had this kind of femme fatale thing going on in this one.
Yeah, and I think and I really liked it, but I think part of what you're speaking to also has to do with like characterization, because this is also earlier than when the Guardians movie is set. This is like 2008, and Guardians is like 2014. So 6 years less of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. No, Guardians 2014 now.
The Guardians is 2014.
Yeah. Guardians is 2014. Guardians 1 and 2 2014. And then the post credit scene for Guardians 2 is 2019 or 2018 or something like that, which is an odd jump. If you think about it, because it's already teen group. Do you remember
it? The time jump?
The time jump post credit scene where Groot's already a teen credit scene.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. What I'm really curious to know is that we know Chadwick recorded for it, because like didn't they release the trailer for What If, or like show snippets of What If before Chadwick even passed?
Yeah, we saw it.
We saw it? Did we?
Because we saw the What If announcement at Hall H.
And they showed footage, or they showed pictures?
I think they showed pictures.
Okay. Well, what I want to know is, we know that Chadwick Star-Lord is gonna be in a future episodes. Did he record? Did he only get to record that one, or did he get to do all of T'Challa's stuff for the first season?
I'm imagining he did all of them, because it sounds like this was recorded. They said all of his lines were recorded prior to his death.
Okay.
Now, if he had like reshoots to do, I think that's a different thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if he's working. I wonder if they had to record during COVID, or if this was all done prior to COVID.
That's what I'm wondering too. So I mean, if they're recording it in order of like episode release, then his were probably knocked out pretty early, because I'm imagining the predominancy of the post production was like more so the animation and stuff. Right. The actual lines for a 30-minute episode, that probably didn't take too long to record.
No, he probably had like multiple recordings. Of course,
yeah, like a couple sessions. But oh, what were some of your other gripes that you kind of had with the episode?
I think I found it odd that the Collector had Captain America's shield, Thor's hammer, and Hela's thing. So, which means Odin would have. Bro. So they're making some major jumps here. They're having to say that he got to Steve in the 1940s, killed him, and took his shield, and they're having to say that not only is either Thor dead or just lost the right to have his hammer. Dead. He probably, he's either no. Here's the implication of what that wall is saying. Not only is Thor potentially dead, but Odin's also dead. Because Odin's also dead because Thor's hammer is hanging on a wall, and you can't lift that hammer unless you're worthy, or unless the enchantment is broken, which would mean Odin would have to be dead. And with Odin dead is the only way Hela would have been able to work.
I mean, T'Challa can't save them all, bro. No, that talk no jutsu only works so far. He could talk down Thanos, but that was before he got the gauntlet.
Right. Hey, he's smooth. He's smooth with those words, though. T'Challa know how to talk. I'll say they did
talk
fully
get out the panty draws.
No, I think I did like the plays. I would totally watch a whole other show. This What If timeline with the Ravagers and Star-Lord. Like, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Well, with the way that episode ended, we don't know about that shit, because it shows Ego going back to Earth to pick up Peter, and we all know how Ego treats his kids.
Right, Jesus.
Or Peter might have killed him. We don't know. If he told him what he did to his mama, he might have killed him.
I imagine he didn't, because the only reason because Ego straight up told him. But yeah, I don't know. I think Ego might have more influence over Peter in this one, because Peter doesn't know shit about space. He's no shit about fighting. He's just a janitor,
Yeah, but so if you told me you killed my mama, you got to go.
But he's not. Yeah, you'd have to go, but fucking demigod. What's a janitor from working at a Dairy Queen gonna? Like, he knows nothing about teamwork and nothing about fighting. He's essentially a completely
damn, bro. What you trying to say about Dairy Queen janitors? They don't know shit about shit.
I mean, say no shade to Dairy Queen. They ain't training ninjas. They ain't training the soldiers in Dairy Queen.
How you
Say
know,
your
bro?
ass some ice
You don't
cream.
know about them DQ soldiers?
Damn, bro. Man, they they train them in the creamery. the creamery food, if you will. Got vanilla Kwando.
32 flavor the kick ass.
Gonna do something with it, but yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, so am I. I'm gonna stay.
Where he go?
Stay optimistic. You know, I hear the third episode is pretty good too. It's supposed to be a murder mystery.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
I know nothing about that.
Me neither. We got two last pieces of news. Then we can go. One of them, I think is funny. The other one is a little bit more serious. So it's half funny, it's half serious. Let me open this by saying that, of course, you know, sex workers work. With that said, OnlyFans said that they will cease allowing people to be producing entirely, I believe, pornographic content starting October 1st. You can still post nudes, but anything that's like more than that is a no-go. And there's kind of a couple reasons behind it. Part of it, I think, is that they want to get Sean C has an interesting take on it in regards to like content creators, where he was saying that part of it has to do with like the fact that, you know, if you buy a subscription, you can actually tell your credit card money company to resend like the payment if you're dissatisfied. So like if you get a subscription and you cancel it early, you know, you get your money back. And so they were probably losing some money in that regard. And then MasterCard is getting very, very specific with like where money is being spent for charges. And I think it was requiring more specific background understanding, specifically for like entertainment. And if you're getting into porn, it's like making sure that everything being done is like reviewed to be ethical, so that you're not investing your money in something that's unethical. And they're going to be the first ones doing that, but the presumption is that other credit card companies are probably going to start doing the same, especially after the whole Pornhub fiasco. So, and OnlyFans is also potentially probably looking to like sell or make themselves look more appealing to investors and shit like that. So there's a lot of different elements that are at play, and rumors have been swirling around for a hot minute. And I guess I'm kind of two minds of this. One, guess y'all motherfuckers gonna have to go to Manyvids, you know, where the real nasty shit happens. And two, it does kind of suck, you know, for the people in that industry are doing that work. Because like when I think about it, like I actually do know at minimum 3 women that have an OnlyFans. And there's probably more that I just can't think of immediately, but like 3 that immediately come to mind. And they're not even fucking. They're just posting, you know, lewds or nudes or shit like that. As far as I know, they aren't even fucking. So I don't know how much this will impact them, but nonetheless, it's still like a shitty precedent to send. It's kind of like when that whole adpocalypse thing happened on YouTube, and it was fucking with a lot of people's money, and they had to be like overly aware of their content. People started leaving, or when Tumblr banned porn, and now it's a fucking graveyard full of nothing but zombies and stragglers. So like this never really works out in favor for the business, is the thing. Just because it's like, oh, you have to go with the extra effort. But like companies just got to realize that sex sells. It's like, well, I don't want to be associated with a company that makes porn. It's like, it's puritanical bullshit. It's a mess. You know, if you're complaining about women making a shit ton of money on OnlyFans, actually, just this past week, I saw a story. I think on like Optimus channel or something like that. or one of these YouTube commentators talking about she was a Navy officer turned ICU nurse who retired as a nurse to become a full-time OnlyFans model with her husband and produce content where she was making like 60 grand a month.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. And then like 3 days later, this news came out, which I'm like, shit. I hope you saved it. Hope you saved some, because goddamn. But I don't know, man. What are kind of your thoughts? There's a lot going on. I think a lot of people, have felt the way about the whole rise and I guess now the fall of OnlyFans. A lot of people were like alarmingly excited. We can get into why in a minute, but I mean, what are your kind of thoughts about this whole thing? Because I think this is an interesting topic if we're talking about pop culture.
OnlyFans is about to lose a lot. Yeah, but hey, I'm sure a lot of people are upset about this. I don't have a strong investment in in the downfall of OnlyFans, but I'm sure it's gonna make a lot of the fans not too pleased with the content that they are being denied. But it's always up to the person's choice anyway. That it's not like everyone on OnlyFans was posting nudes and stuff anyway. But there's definitely people that post lewds, and then some people just have it as a platform to just with their fan base. So like it's not going to affect every single creator on the platform, but it's definitely going to affect some of them. And to the ones that it's affecting their major business, that does suck. That's very unfortunate. But there are other platforms like GoFundMe or like fucking there's Patreon. Like get a Patreon, do some shit over there.
I don't think Patreon allows porn either.
Oh damn! Then make your own service.
Manyvids, bro.
Find a new one.
Manyvids, clips for sale, images for sale. God, I'm old. Jesus.
Make your own website. Sell your stuff.
Yeah, I think there's one called like Loyal Fans that I heard about when I was perusing some adult content creator's Twitter page. She's like, follow me on my Loyal Fans. I'm like, what the fuck is a Loyal Fans? They got a great value OnlyFans, which I guess back to the streets.
To the streets they belong. But yeah, man. People are gonna find ways to entertain themselves in a sexual one way. And to the creators that are potentially losing forms of revenue, that's unfortunate. Yeah, man, that's really my 2 cents on it.
It's a bummer. I think a lot of, if I can get on my soapbox briefly, it's like I think a lot of dudes were always mad at women making money from OnlyFans. I think it was a little bit of envy, just because it seems like easy money to an extent when you see all these people were like, I'm a 1% OnlyFans creator, and it seems like a lot of them are doing the bare minimum. Not saying they are, just like the optics of it probably to the average person is, oh, she's taking cell phone pics and making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Fuck her. I have to work this dead-end job and I don't make shit. Which, there's something to be said about the value of entertainment versus hard traditional labor and shit like that. 'Cause I'm sure there's plenty of women that don't OnlyFans that would love to have those OnlyFans salaries. But also there's like a bunch of shit that we probably don't know. I know like they have to, probably be in contact with their customers and keep like a regimented schedule, like any other sort of content creator, really. You have to keep a schedule. You have to hold yourself to a certain level of quality. Otherwise, people are going to leave. To make sure what you're making is fair. It probably has its own like nuances, but I think there is probably a little bit of a jealousy that there's not really much of an equivalent for guys. It's like maybe a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, but that you'd probably be easier off being able to make money through adult products than through like streaming your game or making videos, because you have to like create an audience, whereas in like adult stuff, the audience kind of comes to you. You know, like if you're,
Mhm.
you know, like even for the if we're talking specifically like this podcast, you know, I have to record it and do all that other and the editing and everything just like a regular content creator would. But then I have to like go market it and entice people to come to me. But you know, people go looking for porn. So there's a probably
Right.
a better likelihood that they'll stumble upon you. Not everyone's looking for like a pop culture podcast or a movie review YouTube channel. I mean, there are people that are. That's how, you know, audiences grow. But I don't know. I think there's just a little bit of bitterness and resentment there. That's like, haha, now these thoughts will be banned from the internet. And I'm just like, bro, just be mad at the dudes giving them money. Like, you know, like I support all of my sex worker friends' endeavors to get the bag however you can. Shit, if I could make money off of it, I would. But you know, it's just like I'm also not really paying for porn. I mean, there's plenty of alternatives I can find. Instagram is
Right.
free. Twitter is free. You know, I've thought about it. Sure, if we're
Oh,
getting real about it,
right.
it's like, yeah. And I mean, some of them shits be affordable. It's like, yeah, you got porn on a budget, go ahead. But it's like, if you want to buy it, that's your business. I don't really feel like spending it. You deserve to get paid, sure, but it's just like I just haven't had anyone where I'm like, no, this is worth whatever I'm about to spend. It's like, don't be mad at them for making I mean, that's like being mad at the baker for you eating like a whole flight of Cinnabon cinnamon rolls. It's like, yo, I ate 18 cinnamon rolls from Cinnabon and now I'm fat. Why the fuck would Cinnabon do this? It's like, no, bitch, you bought it. Like, no one told you to buy it. It's like, yo, what? Why are all these people is Cinnabon fat? You know, I blame Cinnabon for this, bro. They're providing a service. Be mad at the customer.
Right. Yeah. It's supply and demand, and they demand that we
Right,
take this.
right, bro. And look, there's a lot of fellas out there that are looking for something to beat off to. It's probably a you know, there's a lot of women out there that probably finding something to skeet off to. You know, rub their clitori and shit. Now, I think you're more likely to find men that are open about buying porn than women. All those women they be secret with their pocketbooks. They don't tell you shit. But I
Right.
don't know. I thought it was a very interesting thing that happened, and a lot of people were like praising the downfall. I'm like, I don't know. I feel kind of bad for him. Not gonna like. I mean, I wish I could make that kind of money. No, but shit. I might start a Manyvids up or something. Be like, hey, yo, check out my new adult content.
Ah,
Oh
give out business cards.
my god, podcaster, content creator, professional adult entertainer. So, yeah, that's the last one. Word, what you be doing? Maybe I've seen you somewhere. Nah, you good. You ain't gotta
Nah,
know
you
all
ain't
that.
seeing this.
You ain't seeing this for this dick ain't free. Oh man, that's also relevant because Kendrick Lamar has his last album coming out under TDE. There's one last bit of news. I think we'll just touch on briefly. For people that follow blurred entertainers, black uh, entertainers in the whole nerd space, HeavenlyController has recently gotten into some hot water with 3 sexual assault allegations blown up, and his friend and potential collaborator LongBeachGriffy, who I followed more so than Heavenly, though I have heard of him. When it came up to his defense in regards to his actions, he didn't even drop a skit, and I saw the skit before I saw the controversy, so I thought it was just Griffy being wild ass Griffy again. But like I haven't gone through to really read through the fine details. I've seen a couple comments from the people that made the allegations. It I don't know. You know, I'm of the beliefs that, like, if anyone ever makes an allegation like that, you always take it seriously, regardless of who the person is. Um, where it's coming from, male, female, whatever the fuck, just taking that shit seriously. It's just if it turns out to actually, be like really real, and Griff is like really gonna stand by him, I think it's probably gonna be a barrier to me like continuing to follow Griff's content. I didn't really follow Heavenly like that. Like I've seen a couple of his videos at the time. I'm just like, oh, he kind of funny, he kind of horny. That's about it. He probably has good game commentary.
Yeah, I haven't really followed his stuff like that, but Griffey's always been like a controversial with his humor and whatnot. Yeah, I can't really speak to their relationship. Right? I don't know. It comes with certain lines, when with do you separate a creator from their views or their action? Creation, exactly. Has, to my knowledge, I don't believe Griffy has done anything of that nature. I know he's supported their friend, right? That's like they're friends. Yeah, so he's supporting his friend. Is it a good look? A guy who's supporting a dude who has 3 sexual allegations against him? No, it's not great. Not great at all. But I think he's funny. I think Griffey's a funny dude. Yeah, I can't speak to Griffin on a personal. I just know videos. I think I'm just gonna continue to find his videos funny. I may not like fuck with what he believes, or like he believes his friend to be innocent, and he believes that women. I don't know. It's a tough one, man.
He had some kind of weird comments about.
Well, yeah, I don't know what he said exactly, so it's hard for me to fully get.
I'd have to pull up the tweet, because I did like there's a video of him on Clubhouse kind of giving his side of things. And I had started watching it, and he had this one specific quote that even when I looked at him, like, Griff, that's, ooh boy, that's a tough one. Oh wait, there's, and well, apparently a day ago, Heavenly denied the allegations, and I'm trying to find what the statements were that Griff made. Yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of like one of those. It's the whole separation of art from the artist. It's like, how do I feel about Griff? Immediately and very aggressively kind of stand up for his friend, which I understand in terms from like a loyalty perspective. I think it's just like the optics of it are never really going to be favorable to you, even if Heavenly like didn't do it, which he's given he's denying these allegations. It's just like everyone's gonna immediately think it's like, oh, you're friends with and defending the guy who's like a potential sexual assaulter. So it's like this is not a good thing, optics wise. So it's rough. Let's see. So Heavenly spoke out. He said, first and foremost, anybody who was indirectly affected by the situation because of their association with me, I take full responsibility for that, and that was never by intention. As for any of these allegations of me not abiding by someone's consent or by molestation, sexual assault, harassment, whatever, I have not and will not ever do anything like that. Yeah. I'm trying to see what the things were that Griffy said. There's just other comments about what Griff said. He said something kind of weird about like people's behavior and like something about nonverbals. I can't remember it now. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation. I'm probably keeping an eye on it. Less so for Heavenly, although like if true, very shitty. More so to figure out how I'm, as someone that is a fan of Griffey's content, how I want to move. Granted, there's other content creators. Caleb City is mad hilarious. RD2 World 1 is still up there. I think it's like the timing of this is real shit too, because I think Griffy and Heavenly were both at DreamCon, which is where a lot of like Black YouTubers go and collab and work together. So the timing of this, I mean, you can't time when someone's gonna charge you with an assault allocation, but it's just like after this great time for a lot of creators to come together, be unified. People are taking all these photos together. Everyone's having fun. This was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe like the end of July. So maybe like a month ago now. But like all this beautiful unity, and then like in a month, this news comes out. And it just like it just puts a bad taste in your mouth. But we'll see. Hoping, I don't know if you can really hope for a direction of something. You don't want somebody to be lying about something as serious as sexual assault, especially if 3 people came up. But you also like don't want it to be true. So I don't know. Just take it seriously when people make these allegations, regardless of who it is. I think that's the big takeaway. And just know, if it's not enthusiastic verbal consent, don't mess around with it. Anything but an enthusiastic yes is a no. That's the best way to go. I don't know, man. Any last words?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the situation. What unfolds, it's a sticky one, bro. It's a sticky one, and yeah, bro. I'm trying to stay clean, bro. I'm trying to.
Smart man.
Smart man. What'd you say?
It's smart man.
Yeah. I'm not educated enough scenario players to give a formed opinion. So to that, I will just say, I enjoy Griffey's content. I don't know the man who's being accused. I don't know the women. I don't know what happened. All I know is that I hope things get. I just want truth to be unveiled, and justice to be served. That's all I can speak.
Yeah. When the truth comes out, we'll go from there.
Exactly.
Well, alrighty then. On that relatively somber note, I think it's gonna do it for us. We have run exceedingly long because we were playing the catch-up game this week. But Aaron, where can people find you at, man? Oh, God damn it! I don't think we have time. Waru has questions for us. We'll have to do it next time. I'm sorry, Waru. Give us more questions. He leaves questions now, as other people should. But where can people find you at, Aaron? Because we've been running very long.
You can find me on Instagram at The Real Aaron Alexander.
And you can find me on Instagram at Will the Greatest, also on YouTube at Will the Greatest. Don't forget to like the show, share the show, comment wherever you're listening at this at. Follow us on Instagram at Atlas Comics Elite, ATLAS Comics Elite. I need to hit up some of our other friends and get some more guests up in here. But with that being said, we hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, rate it highly. Let your friends know about the show. And we will see you next time. I better go to Manyvids, or it's on and popping now for you.